Hello, everybody. Seems we're live again. Like Groundhog Day, isn't it? It feels that way. And what could be an interesting day, it has to be said. I do believe that Johnny Depp is going to be there today. I think he's going to be on the stand at some point. I know we've got to finish off with security, but it is, it's pretty strong indication that Johnny Depp's going to be starting his stuff today. So that's going to be really interesting. Looking forward to that. And we are joined with Claire, who I'm going to bring in right now.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Ranty. And hello, everyone in chat. Good morning. Good morning.
Johnny Depp on the stand today.
I saw that. I'm really I'm hoping it's not just a rumor. Like, how did they find this out? But I'm hoping absolutely. What an exciting day.
It's all going to go off, I think. I mean, this is essentially what it's all being building up to. And I think putting him on today makes a little bit of sense because it's not all the pressure on him then. Everything that he can allege today about the incidents and stuff will be finalized when the police officers testify. So having their expert testimony on after him, at least to me, makes perfect sense, because then that validates whatever he says today. That the final impression of what Johnny's case is going to be will be the police testifying.
Yes, yeah, and they're going to have the other security guy also. So the stories are all going to gel for especially that incident because there's much conflicting. There's body cam footage that conflicts. There is audio that conflicts. There's security testimony there is retracted deposition notes from even her witnesses that conflict. So, it's a mess, but I'm just very excited. But I think the word we're going to hear the most of, guess what word we're going to hear the most of today?
Objection.
Give you one word. Yes, it's going to be, Rottenbaum's going to be, it's going to be right there on the front of his mouth the whole time. Objection. Like, don't let them feel bad for him. He's going to be objecting like crazy because he's going to be an excellent witness. Just looking at him on the stand, the fact that he has to be on a stand giving this testimony is going to be impactful. Just the fact that he's sitting there.
The judge will say, so who's the next witness that you're bringing up? And they'll say, we're bringing up Johnny Depp. And Amber Heard's team will say, objection.
It's like, we object to Johnny Depp. I was like, obviously, that's why we're here, Amber. That's why we're here.
We'll say, we object to Johnny Depp. Right, okay. Well, yeah, we're not allowing that. Do you want to sit down, Johnny? We object. He must stand up.
We object. he shall stand. He shall not look at the jury. Don't you be looking all like innocent and adorable and likable up there. Don't you dare. We object to his cheekbones. We object to his ponytail. And damn that suit he's wearing.
We need him throwing off the case. Why is that? Well, clearly he was viewing witness testimony.
Yes, right. Surely, right. How dare he? And gosh, don't tell the truth.
No, but he saw witness testimony, just like his friend that got kicked out did.
Yeah, but he's the plaintiff. I mean, how could he not?
But they might try it. You never know. They might try it. Rotten bum might try it.
I hope he does. It gets bounced on his rotten bum. I really do. I want to see the judge take him to task if he tries such nonsense. I mean, come on. He is a shark and a barracuda, but don't be stupid. Like, come on. That would be. I will send the judge a note for that one. I would send a very long note for that one. That would be like so much. Oh, you're so funny, Robski. Of course it's warm in Cape Town, but in New Jersey, I'm freezing my butt off. This is one time I wish the rumor was true.
Yeah, do you remember that yesterday? ... We object.
Yes, yes. ... Oh, somebody was watching. Yeah, mocking. Yes, it was hysterical yesterday. We were having a good time. But Joe Black asked first thing in the chat. He wants to know who won the caption contest that you ran yesterday. Did you pick a winner?
I haven't. To be honest, I didn't. I need to go back. I will do that during the lunch break. And
okay.
I will find it and then I'll do it afterwards. So yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, look at me like dotting the I's and crossing the T's over here. Sorry. I didn't know. But then, I don't recall. I wasn't there. Oi. Hey, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Y'all got me cracking up so early in the morning, spitting my cuppa.
She was quite funny, it has to be said. I don't recall. And I can kind of understand it. I mean, I guess she was there to do one job, and that was to just say that, look, she didn't see any injuries, basically. I mean, I know she did say something else. Whether that'll go against Johnny Depp, because they'll be like, well, how can you not recall? But
I think her other famous line was, if it's in there, like if it says it, like, because she kept saying, if that's what it says in the note, then that's it. Like, she wasn't going not one iota over whatever was typed up in that note as a medical professional. There was no way they weren't going to get her to say anything. Oh God, you're trying to get my cuppa all over the laptop, aren't you? God, stop.
Let's not forget the old Amica cream here.
Oh God, oh my God. And
of course we have Amber Heard. This is an Amber Heard special. She's patron of the Amica Cream Association. Why waste time with medical attention when you can just use Miracle Cream Amica?
That's right.
Did you lose an arm? Don't worry, Amica Cream will cover it up.
I would like to use Amica Cream on Elaine. I really would. I would like to get Elaine go, and maybe rotten bone, like just around the mouth area, just like under the nose there. That would be
I
good.
wish they should put Elaine on the stand. I think that would be hilarious. Get her up there.
Oh my God. No, can you imagine if Elaine is the one that has to do the cross on Johnny Depp?
Oh, that can't.
How will he not? He's going to just be picturing Isaac going at it, like Isaac's testimony. He's going to be snickering the whole time. He's going to be snickering like behind his. Oh my God. He's got a good sense of humor. I don't think he's going to be able to hold back. Yeah.
Well, I think when Johnny Depp does testify, which is going to be later today, I'm pretty sure of that. It's going to be pretty, it's going to be very difficult for people to listen to, I think, because let's face it, this is a guy that will have been sort of like a very close, what you'd like to call a personal friend, because it feels that way when you're engaged with some of these celebrities in some of these big films. You kind of relate to them. You see, you look up to them or whatever. And to hear his personal stories, to hear how he does struggle with alcohol problems, he does struggle with taking drugs, but because you have a flawed character doesn't mean that you're actually an abuser. In actual fact, it would seem to me, at least, that his addiction problems were probably the cause of their arguments. It probably was down to that. She didn't want him on drugs. Johnny did try to stay clean, but addictions are hard to get off. And her own problems in the real world, her own mental problems, her own way she deals with stuff was to lash out at him. You must clean your act up. Stop being a baby. Take control of the situation. Blah, 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 blah. Slap, slap, slap. So that's what I'm seeing from testimony so far.
I like how you hit the blah 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 slap 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 in there, like Randy, really? Come on, no, yeah, okay, but you got a point. You have a valid point, and what I admire the most is that although he's a flawed individual, he's an honest individual about it, and I cannot hold that against anybody, regardless of his flaws. If you are honest and you own it, and he's trying to do better, which he actually was the whole time, recognizing that they had a problem, recognizing what some of the problems are, recognizing he was a big part of the problem in regards to his drug and alcohol, got himself help. We're not talking about a denier here. We're not talking about somebody who was just living up in the clouds and not knowing what's going on. This is an honest, real life individual dealing with a real illness. Addiction is a disease. It is not a personal failing, especially how he became addicted to painkillers.
Yeah. Well, if he owns that, what he has to go to do is to go up on stage and own it and bare his soul. Listen, I've done things in in this channel. I've said things on this channel about things that have happened to me in the past. On about 3 different videos, I've opened up about that. But doing that, it does heal you. You know, speaking about these things, it's a cathartic moment. You know, you get things off your chest, and then you don't have those demons on your shoulder anymore. So my community supported me through those issues, and I'm sure that the worldwide community will support Johnny if he's opening up, if he's very honest about everything, and he doesn't hold back. And I think he will do that. I think you'll see a different side with Amber. She'll be very close. She'll be very, she'll have to be on the defensive because of all the evidence that's against her. But Johnny just needs to own his own issues. And if he does that, he wins the jury. He wins the jury, he wins his case. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think just their personalities together, they were just not, although they were very enamored with each other in the beginning and they may love each other deeply, the type of personalities and the problems they've had in their past make them a very toxic combination for each other emotionally, which led to a lot of this and a lot of the pain. But like you said, if you own it, you know, and you're working on it, that's the only way to move forward. That's the only way to progress forward to a better place, you know, with anything. Addiction or any kind of problem that you're having is just, you know, facing the reality of it, accepting you're part of it. It's the only way to move forward with anything. I'm glad you got the support that you get. That doesn't happen enough. And I'm really the best, you know, hearing your stories, the best part of them are the outcomes, is to see the man sitting here well, whole, on his way to healing, having the support of his community, doing what he loves. And you're quite entertaining and quite actually a joy to be around. So to know that you were able to move forward to it's a testament to your character, and I'm honored to know you, Randy, because that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do.
But this is why I wanted to cover this trial. I mean, I've listened to it for the past year, and I decided maybe 2.5 months ago, I let the community know that this is what I was going to do, and it was totally out of my sort of like comfort zone for what I do for my subscribers. So it was a big risk for me to do that, and I'm not sure how many of my subscribers actually still come over and watch this, because the vast majority of them probably aren't interested. They probably don't know about all of the situation, what it actually, it's not just a court case. It's not just 2 celebrities that are just arguing with each other. It's far bigger than that. You know, this is perhaps going to be the biggest event in the courts over the next 5 years, I would think. I can't think of another story that could top this, especially when you consider that, you know, if you watch the film Gone Girl, you know, it could have been written for, it could have been written for her. You know,
I did see that little clip that you were showing, that one that person deplored Depp or something like that. It was quite amusing, but the similarities and the point is actually not funny. The point of it is actually not funny. And I think I told you, like, I've spent some time correcting people who just think it's a celebrity trial and, oh, how could you get involved with that? I said, have you not heard me for 2 years? Like, this is an issue. This is a very big issue on men's rights, on equality. This is huge. I see it, and I'm going to be speaking out of it. I have spoke out on it from the start, and it's bigger than that. And legally, it's enticing because I'm hoping some things will change. I'm hoping to see some change, you know.
Well, the thing with me is that I'm not an activist. So, you know, I'm not one of these bleeding hearts that stands on the corner and says, you know, this, that, and the other. But there are instances when I put my feet down and say, that's wrong. That is wrong. That needs to change. That needs to be addressed. And talking about men's rights, talking about being accused and things like that. Here in the UK, you get an accusation made against you for things like domestic abuse, and then if the partner wants to actually get a restraining order against you, she gets all the financial support she needs to hire a solicitor and everything like that. And it's really easy to get. I mean, the burden of proof is almost as simple as just what you say. So to defend against that, from the man's point of view, you don't get assistance from legal aid. You don't get that. So you have to finance the solicitor yourself. And if you can't afford it, you have to go to trial yourself against somebody that specializes in that sort of claim, sort of like a solicitor that specializes in domestic abuse and getting these orders against you. And then if your ex is really vindictive, she can put that on your criminal record. even if you don't have a criminal record, it's insanity. It's absolute insanity, and it needs to change. So I suffered from that, but I won my case. I was 1 in 1,000, let's say, that actually is able to win their case, because essentially the burden of proof is 0 to get it. It's almost 0. But because of my clean record, I had my exes coming out and defending me. I had, just like Johnny Depp, I had my friends coming out and defending me. I had text messages, everything you can imagine, proving what her scheming was, how she schemed a house out of me, all this kind of stuff, how I paid off all the debts and everything like this, and never been in trouble with the law, never ever been arrested. I had all of that on my side, and even then it was still on a knife edge whether I could actually avoid getting this against me. And it wasn't a case of like, you know, it wasn't a case of just accept some kind of what do you call it with the courts? It's like a promise to the court that you could just say to the promise to the court, oh yeah, I'll not go near, is no big deal. And there's nothing that you don't get anything on your record with that or anything like that. But I couldn't do that because I knew I'd done nothing wrong. So I couldn't just accept that.
So you wouldn't accept a plea. You're not gonna you're not gonna make a plea with them of something you didn't do. And I don't blame you. You didn't do it.
But my evidence was as overwhelming as what Johnny Depp has, and I know that. So this is why I wanted to cover it. This is why I feel so passionate about this. I want Johnny Depp to win because I think his winning this will open a whole box of things going forward for men's rights, for this particular thing about how people can just be accused of things and believe all things, and it's not true. It's not fair.
No, it's not. It's here in the States, I have to say it's very much the same. I have brothers. I have a brother who almost didn't get to see his children through no fault of his own, only because they automatically side with his wife. Like he didn't even get a choice. It's not even 50-50 out the gate, which is insane because you were a couple, you were parents, you raised these children together. Why is it not 50-50 out the gate until they prove otherwise? To give one parent control over the other is absolute absurdity when you're talking about a divorce. These children don't deserve this. These parents do not deserve this. These men do not deserve this. I have friends that I would fight. I would like testify for. I would like do the letters. I would like do the research for the lawyers if I could to get them just to get 50-50. What is wrong with that? You know, people are spiteful, you know.
The thing is, in all of my relationships, I've never been violent, right? I'm not a violent person, but I have been in 2 relationships where they've been violent with me. Not my last one, not the last one, but in 2 relationships prior to that. So saying that men don't get abused, they do. You know,
they do.
And it's not just a little slap. You know, once you allow that, the thing with men is, especially when the way you're brought up and things like this is, you know, I was brought up, you don't hit women, right? That would, you know, give me the boy until he's 7, I'll give you the man, right? That was what I was, you know, that's a well-known saying. And it was ingrained in me for a very long time, you know, about how to be a good person, blah, 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 blah. You don't hit the women and all this kind of stuff. And I took that to heart, literally. So when I was in these relationships, if they struck me the first time, I didn't strike back. And if you don't do that, they just take you as a punch bag after that. And that's what happened to me. So men do get abused. And there are a lot of men that won't fight back, refuse to fight back because they know they're bigger, they know they're stronger, they know they can more than give as good as they get, you know, if they wanted to, but they don't because they have some inner pride, some inner morals that say you will not strike somebody weaker than you. And then on the other side of the coin, people will take advantage of that. So yeah, very interesting where this is going to go, I think. And after yesterday, it would appear that the doctor and the nurse both agreed that they never saw any injuries on Amber in Australia. Now that could be a little bit devastating for her case, considering the allegations she made from Australia, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Was it the 3-day hostage trial? She was dragged up and down the stairs by the hair. She was dragged across the glass. She was beaten. She had all of this stuff, but the doctors didn't see anything.
No, never went to the doctor, and no one else recalls anything or saw anything. She has an active imagination. I mean, she knows the
Mm.
words to say. She really does. And but that's what's so offensive to me is it's hard enough to get the truth out there. You just don't go around and hijack movements and beat people up with them, just for your own personal gain. That's where sanctions have to happen. When people go out of their way to use the legal system and the things we have in place to protect people for such nefarious reasons, there needs to be strong sanctions, automatic strong sanctions. I want victims protected out of the gate. And in order to do that, we've got to make things like this stop happening. People using it for their own will. Zachariah, I'm in New Jersey. The armpit of the United States, so they say. It's it's on the East Coast, halfway up, and in our state, although the law may state 50-50, it is not. And no, I don't even think the law in New Jersey is 50-50. It most often is a court thing. It's usually custodial parent, so it depends on who leaves the home, who gets kicked, things like that, when in regards to children. Yeah.
Now, personality disorder, I believe, because she's already been diagnosed with a personality disorder, I think that's going to play a massive part in sort of like proving or sort of like linking a lot of these events. The fact that she does copy Johnny Depp, so she copies him. She can't find a personality of her own. She seems to have copied, word for word what happened in Gone Girl. She copies a lot of things. She took Kate James's story and made it her own. It's like she's living out her life in other people's words, other people's like she's becoming part of their story to make her own stories up. I think she has an incredible imagination that she can't differentiate between other people's stories and what her own stories are.
Well, that is that's part of when you have a personality disorder like that, you're not very happy with yourself, and you are always looking to others for pieces of their lives to make you feel better. And that is why she didn't want to be away from Johnny at all. She thought if he was away from her at all, he would not come back. He would just somebody would turn him from her in some way. She was quite paranoid.
Now, was it Candace Owens that put a tweet out yesterday in support of Johnny Depp?
Say that again? I'm sorry?
I'm sure it was Candace Owens that put a tweet out.
Did she? Oy.
Yeah, but for Johnny Depp.
She was for him? That would be the only tweet I would support that she's ever done. Wait, I gotta go find it. Are you kidding? Twitter's gonna blow up if I retweet Candace Owens. I'm usually on the other side of Candace. Well, I like that she has a strong voice, but sometimes she gets a little too crazy for me.
Well, I can show you the tweet. I follow eHacker. I don't know if you've heard of him. Yeah. So I follow him. Let me share the screen so that I can show you the tweet, because obviously trying to find this is going to be next to impossible. But here we go. So if you can see this right now, let's.
Well, look at that.
I'm on record calling Amber Heard a liar from day one. Many people don't realize that an abusive sociopath was able to seamlessly destroy a man because of the #MeToo movement.
Boy, I agree with every word. Oh my gosh, Twitter! I'm gonna have to go retweet it.
I don't know if I would agree with every single. I mean, this never believe believe women. I mean, if you just
no, not that. Said, no. I know. Right up to the word campaign. Period. Okay, yeah. I see what you say. Yeah, I know. I don't want to never believe. I want to always believe victims. Don't say never believe women. Say always believe victims. Victims. Yeah. Okay, let's make the language correct. It's not man. It's not woman.
But at least she did follow.
But she does say,
she did the hashtag Justice for Johnny for Depp. Now that could just be her jumping on the bandwagon after trying to get some.
Well, Ranty, it is Candice. So if you know, it's Candice. So there's some bandwagon. There's a huge bandwagon there, but still, she does often have a strong opinion about things. And if she's got a strong opinion about this one, I would have to retweet it and say she's got a point. I mean, hey, I even retweet Keem sometimes. If they're right, they're right. What are you going to do?
Well, at the end of the day, she's got a big subscriber base. I think that
Mm-hmm.
every personality that does actually retweet something like that or makes their own personal statement about it, it will help in the long run. But there have been a lot of celebrities also that have been saying this for a very long time that don't have that sort of reach, that have had their voice silenced or mocked, or maybe even lost some kind of reputation on the back of supporting Johnny Depp over this. But somebody can just come out in the middle of the trial, offer support like that, and get all the kudos. It's a little bit, I feel that way. It should be, we appreciate the support obviously here, but I wish they'd done it earlier, because the evidence has been out there for such a long time, and Johnny Depp's had to put up with this for, well, basically going back to 2014, if you think about it.
Right.
I mean, I know the op-ed wasn't written until 2018, but, still.
But they've documented episodes that happened during their dating period. That's what the foundation is going back, that there's a pattern that's been there the whole time. So
now, going back to the op-ed, so one of my subscribers said, well, it's all still going to come down to the op-ed, whether they can prove that it was about Johnny. But here in this state, obviously, inference is enough. That's it. You can infer, that it's a certain person. And if people can connect the dots, then that's enough, even if the person isn't specifically mentioned in the article. And I'm wondering whether or not they're going to allow the op-ed drafts to be submitted to the jury for them to see, where she clearly makes it where they clearly make it known that it was about Johnny.
Yeah. I'm hoping that those get in, but we haven't heard yet on
Well, Unbox PhD, let me just see if I can find that. Subscriptions. He actually recorded Johnny Depp walking in today. Where is he? Yeah, here we go. Oh, shut up. Where's his... Hold on just a sec, guys. I saw him turning up in another video. Maybe.
Yeah.
He's... Never mind. Doesn't matter. What's he going to be wearing today? What's Johnny Depp going to be wearing today? Ooh, I don't know, because he's got to be on the stand, right? What's he going to wear? I don't know. What's his hair going to be like? I think he's going to keep the same hairstyle. I think his hairstyle is going to be back.
Instead of that wild look. I don't think he should have that wild look. I like that wild look, but he should not have it on the stand. They need to see his face. But,
definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to have to mute a lot. You don't want me crying up here on YouTube. I'll be so grateful I'm an avatar, because I'm going to be a mess with his story. I know it. There you go. You had me laughing so hard yesterday. There were tears coming out of my face. I looked like a wreck. My God, stop. Oh, my God. That was good. So, yeah, she's not hiding. Hell no, she's not.
So during yesterday's trial, we had a makeover of both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp had his hair pulled back into a ponytail, clearly showing all his emotions on his face, so that the jury could have a good look at that. And Amber Heard, as can be seen here on the right, she had a hairstyle that covered up her entire left-hand side of her face, which meant that when she was sat at her desk during the trial, looking forward, the jury couldn't see nothing of her face. She was completely hidden. So I did this little meme, tweeted it out yesterday. I think it was quite accurate. I think I have to say. Yeah. She's not hiding at all. No.
Oh, no.
No. She's just, that's it. She's not hiding.
I'm not sure, Joe Black, about this 20 bit, on the 20-pound bit. I'm not sure. What was that on? Maybe they did in the chat and we didn't, and we missed it.
The £20 bet was... what was the £20 bet? I remember seeing it pop up. I can't remember either. But
Our apologies, Joe. It's
this is
it's a
where it gets
long
juicy,
day.
though. This is where it from now on. This is where the main juice comes in. This is where we're gonna, we've had the foundations. It's like building a house. Imagine you're trying to build a house, same as doing this trial. You start off with the foundations that nobody really cares about. Nobody wants to see what the foundations
Right.
look like, right? But you want to see the house going up. You want to see the bricks going up. You want to see the roof being put on. Then you want to see the interior. And basically, what we've had up to now is them doing the foundations, and everything that we're going to be seeing now is the actual house coming to fruition.
The reward for sitting through an hour and a half of security footage getting entered into evidence with yes.
Yes. Oh,
until our heads almost hit the desk. I mean, seriously.
That was really interesting. The Johnny Depp walking in the building and then going through the first set of doors clearly showed that he wasn't intoxicated. He wasn't unsteady on his feet. And at first glance, you're thinking to yourself, well, why would they want to show that? Sort of like, why would they want to show that? But when you know the story, when you know what was alleged, they said that Johnny was drunk, he was all over the place, blah, 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 but we don't see that.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jack. Oh, Joel, thank you for clarifying. It was about Amber showing up in a ponytail, because of Johnny's hair yesterday. Like, is Amber going to show up in a ponytail?
No. Amber Heard is going to have the same sort of hairstyle today. Unless she saw my tweet, which said that she looked like Cousin It and she wasn't hiding, which I think is pretty. I think that would have showed to the jury. Any females on the jury would have picked up on that immediately. They'd have said, "What's she doing? Why has she got her hair covering up all of her face so we can't see anything?" They will have picked up on that.
Copycat Heard here, now that Johnny is taking the stand, I can go, are we going to like almost guarantee that Amber's going to have to now? Because she can't let Johnny take the stand and not her take the stand. Like, she just can't. She's going to have a hard time with her lawyers.
Oh, yeah. And I think she's not going to be wanting to look at Johnny Depp today. If he's on the stand and he's doing his thing, the jury won't just be looking at Johnny. They will be wanting to watch every single emotion on Amber. She cannot, from my perspective at least, have her face being shown to the jury unless she's going to sit there like a Botox face. She could have had Botox injections, just so that her face doesn't move.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't part of the pre-trial routine, actually. But
that could be a thing because it did look she was like plastic face last week. But any emotions.
Have you moved on from rubber? Now we're at plastic, coffee. Have we progressed during a week's worth of trial? She's gone from rubber face to plastic face. Yeah.
Well, if she shows no emotion, right? If you can see her face today, and Johnny's on the stand, and he's saying some horrendous things, horrible things that happened to him with her, and she shows zero emotion on her face. If that happens, game over. Game over for her, right? The jury aren't going to buy it. Nobody can listen to that. She'd have to show emotions. I don't think she has the capacity to show emotions. That's the thing. I don't think she has it. If you watch her, she never reacts to anything. It's like she has no emotions. So I can't imagine.
I think they're trying to keep her in contained because actually she's so dramatic. Like in real life, she's overly dramatic, overly everything. She's just abundant in everything. So I guess that is the actual lawyers. That is actually them instructing her to like keep it together the best that you can. But she is fake, like fake face, definitely, as Gemstone says, no matter what she's doing.
Yeah. Her lack of emotion or empathy, I don't think she has empathy. I don't think she has the capacity to do it. I think she has no emotions. She won't let her emotions show at all. And that's going to really play badly when it's a jury that's deciding her fate, essentially. And with Johnny, what you'll see is you do see the emotions. You saw in the opening statements when Elaine was spewing her rhetoric all over the place. Johnny was like, what? And you could see emotions on his face. You could see when he wasn't too impressed with what she was saying. You could see when he was confused. You could see when he didn't recognize some of the things that she was saying.
Right.
So all of that played out on his face. On her, you can't read her. She's like a stone wall look. So if Johnny's up there and he's saying all these terrible things, they will be expecting a reaction from Amber. And if she if they can't see a face, first and foremost, they can't see a face, or they don't see any emotions, that is going to be, it's game over for Amber then.
Yeah. Joe Black has a point. Maybe it's the Amica cream.
The Amica cream, yes.
It's all that Amica from rubber face to stone.
Yeah. I lost an arm a few weeks ago, and it's back. Amica cream.
Back. It's a miracle cream. I know it does everything. Oh my god, I just can't, and it's not even Amica. Like, come on, Elaine. Oh my gosh, yeah. Elaine. I miss Elaine. There was no Elaine yesterday. She was just sitting there.
Yeah, this is a very good. This is a very good statement here. Audience the absurd. Johnny is very transparent. Only time she smiles is knowing she has good teeth, and Isaac liked her at one time. Yeah, any emotion she ever shows is when she's getting praise or when something's gone her way. For instance, when Gina was kicked off the stand, she couldn't keep that laugh away. She turned around to her girlfriend Eve, and she broke into hysterical laughter and smiling. It was quite unnerving, actually, at how excited she got at that particular moment. So there was that, and then obviously when Isaac came on and praised her, she loved that. Oh, it's all on me. Look, then she got the emotions. When it's, it's like this personality disorder that she likes praise. She has to have it, and when something's happening that's good for her, yeah, she's wonderful. But as soon as anything is bad in her life, she goes downhill quickly. And that's what we're seeing. I think with Johnny Depp, what he's alleging is that his drug use did play a part, not because he was violent, but because she couldn't handle him being wasted on drugs all the time and wanted more from him. So yeah, it's understandable for a woman's perspective that you do want more from your man. But he was a user, and she was too, apparently. So
that's just the thing. It's like she's, she was in the same situation, so it's
but she
unfortunate.
had to accept that. She knew who he was when she married him. She dated him, so she knew all of that. Wanting somebody to change and trying to get someone to change is a big difference. And Johnny did want to change. He did try, but their relationship always made it difficult for him to return to normal because she was still using. She had friends that were using.
Right, she's
they were
partying
drinking
all the time.
Yeah, she wasn't helping him in any way, shape, or form. So, you can't turn around and say that, she was clean in all of this, that she had nothing to do with his mental, well, his problems with his addictions. Can't do that.
This actually comes up a lot in conversations I have when either on my Mayhem or Am I the Asshole streams, and we end up talking about relationships, and I always get really offended at a partner who believes that you fall in love with somebody for who they are in the relationship and everything like that. Then you get in the relationship and all of a sudden all of that's not good. Like, no, you got to do this. No, you got to, and that phrase, well, if you loved me, you would. And I'm like, no, because like love of a person, respect of a person comes from who they are and not what they do or what you want from them or how they whether or not you can manipulate them into doing something for you or anything like that. That is not, that's not grown up. That's not grown up true reality, not for me anyway. Like, I find it offensive. Yeah.
Well, relationships are all about growing together. They're about growing together, making mistakes together, about accepting the other person for who they are. That's why you date people. You date people because you want to find similarities or something that's going to, not to change them. You actually, you date them because you like them. You don't change them for that.
But in dating, I have found that, the one thing that they're attracted to you for that brings them to you and you're getting along really well. And then you become a couple or you move forward. And that's the one thing they want you to change. And I'm like, hello, like, did you not know me? Like, come on, like you dated me all this time, but now, we're going to call each other yours and ours and use couple language and start talking in partnerships. And now all of a sudden, what? You want me to stop talking? Are you out of your mind? you not known me. Like, what? Like, please, like, step on. All right, we're done. Like, there's some things you just can't change. Like, can you rein them in? Can you be more respectful? Can you be considerate? Yeah. Well, have a compromise, have a conversation about compromise. Don't be saying, things like you shouldn't do this. Like, oh.
I think regardless of what happens in this trial, I think this will be good for Johnny. Just getting it all off of his chest. He's actually got it out in the open. This could be his detox, or the main reason why he detoxes and gives up all of that shit. That this is probably what he needs. I know that when I've spoken, I'm going to say it again, but when you get it off your chest, happens to me when you talk about these things and you get that demon monkey and you throw it away, right? Then you can start to heal properly. Then you can actually accept and move forward. And I think that's what Johnny needs. This is it's the start of his new life, essentially. This will be the best thing that happens, regardless of what the jury decide on the actual merits of the op-ed. The fact that he will have cleared his name in the court of public opinion, and that he will have got it all off of his chest, and he'll have opened himself up to the world, that will be what he needs to actually bring his life around.
He needed this process. He needed this process to take back his life. He felt everything's been taken away from him. This process alone is giving him strength to take everything back and move forward, regardless of the outcome. Just the process alone of fighting back this way, it gives him the strength. Because something happened to him. This happened to him,
and gives him strength, and gives other people strength too. Don't forget, my story. When I've told my story, I've had probably close to 25 emails from people who have got in touch with me directly to say that story made a lot of sense to them, because they were either A, going through the same situation themselves, or B, had been in the same situation themselves and had not heard of somebody else speaking about it. It's almost unheard of to hear of a man recounting their problems with a very difficult woman in the past, and what it can do to somebody and how damaging that can be. So by me opening up and Johnny opening up and others speaking out, it raises awareness, and it will actually encourage a lot of men to come forward and speak up too.
And it takes a lot of courage. It actually does, because these are things you don't want to speak of, and I can understand that as men there's a whole societal pressure, just like there is as women, on certain things that is on you to not speak about it, to not say anything about it. And so it is important that you come out there honestly and you show that it does happen, and that you can speak about it and not be diminished in any way. I think you should be celebrated and not diminished for it, for having the strength to do it, for being honest about it, and for saying it exists, because it's truth. Truth should never be diminished. Truth should never be hidden, or shamed in any way. And it's unfortunate that our society does that all over, but
And Johnny's career, I think, will rebound from this after this. I think hers is sunk. I'll be honest. Well, listen, there's so many people out there that support Johnny Depp. So many people that are, batting for him. How many people already signed the petition before they even heard probably even a quarter of what's going to go on in this trial? And 3 million, what did it off Aquaman 2? Can you imagine the negative press? Can you imagine the ratioing that's going to happen to any film that she's ever going to appear in the future? Because people aren't going to let this go. People aren't going to forget this.
The same thing's going to happen to her that she helped promote happened to Johnny Depp. But the difference? I'll bet you Johnny Depp will be, or and several people will be out let her make her mistakes and let her move on. Don't be overzealous about, the revenge. Don't be overzealous or pity about the stuff. Let her heal and move on. If she approaches it right, I'm hoping more people will be reasonable about it, because I don't want that to happen to anyone. Not that she doesn't deserve some recourse. She needs to be sanctioned. I think she needs a big financial payout. I think that's going to really hurt her. But should she be able to have her life? I don't want to see anybody's life taken to such extremes.
I think she needs to go into some kind of institution for a while and get some professional
counseling. Real counseling, not this I'm just going to pay you and talk to you about all this crazy stuff that's made up in my life. No, real therapy, real, get her in there and get some real analysis going on what's going on in that head, so she can have a happier life. and be less damaging to herself as well as everybody else around her.
So this is my email for anybody that wants it. It's rancy@flirtspective.com. I've put it on screen for you to see. I know that Beaver's unit was looking for that, so there we go. Joe
These
Black
guys are
says,
funny.
Joe Black says, breaking news, Johnny Depp is reprising his role from Nightmare on Elm Street. Amber Heard is playing Freddy. Oh, that was funny. Mind you, it wouldn't surprise me. Do you know something that scared me in that film the very first time I ever watched it? I was only young at the time. And you know, at the very end of the film, when everyone's waving goodbye, they're driving off in the car, and there's somebody at the door, and he's waving goodbye like that. And then Freddy grabs them through the letterbox and sucks them through the letterbox. Holy shit.
I know.
I know. Jumped.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know.
A heart attack.
Didn't expect that at all. He's like, Colin, I don't know. Is that true? Is she getting married to Elon? I thought Elon was walking away a little bit. Like, I thought he was thinking twice. He wants to procreate the whole world. So
who said that? Who's what?
Colin said, but she's getting married to Elon. So why would she need to be in films anymore? Meaning Amber Heard.
How is she getting married to Elon? I don't think they're dating, are they? She's dating that.
I thought he's not. Yeah, I thought he's not dating her anymore, although they have the child. But he's dating quite a few people with children. He's procreating the world, the planet. That's his thing.
It could,
Yeah.
well, if he wants to try and procreate me, he'll have a job, won't he?
yeah, this is true. Well, he has all that money. Maybe there's science, Randy. Maybe you'll be a new
science.
Yeah, you'll be famous. You'll be famous. I knew the first pregnant man. Like, I did a stream with him. Yay.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Listen, I don't have the tools. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah.
I don't have the tools. Right. So what's the plan for today? What do you think is going to happen? What's this security guard going to do? Do you think it was good or bad of him to try and slip in a few things that he said yesterday? Do you think the jury will believe what he was saying when he was trying to go above and beyond? Above and beyond.
He did pull it out, thankfully, at the end, which got some good testimony in. Let's hope he behaves in cross like a little bit better. I think it's going to be antagonistic. I hope he doesn't lose his cool. He does appear to be because he just couldn't stop his mouth from trying to get this stuff in. He wants to help Johnny so bad that I hope he doesn't really become defensive during the cross, because that would go over well. But I'm hoping also that after they saw how he acted on the stand, that the lawyers have also instructed him well on what to look for and not to fall, and don't take the bait, because they're going to bait him. They're going to bait him for sure. Rotten bum.
The problem he had, rotten bum. The problem he had, right? Let's take Isaac's total testimony, and we've got what he did is he just answered the questions that he was asked from JD's attorney. He didn't really get into much. He used the questioning from the cross-examination to get in all the devastating stuff, right? Because they asked they asked a question in which he was able to then elaborate more. And of course, it's not going to get objected from Johnny Depp's side. So what the guy yesterday, the security guard, did is he slipped up, because he should have just done the same as Isaac. He should have just said the yes and the no's and telling them some just general stuff with JD's team, and wait for an opening when it was cross-examined. That's what he should have done.
Well, because Isaac was sly like a fox, man. As soon as that opening him, he was in there. He pounced like a puma. He just, what testimony that was. Can you tell I get excited just thinking about how he snuck it, like how he got that in there. Oh, she opened that door and he went waltzing through it with everything. He got to say all the magic words: fraud, liar, misinformation,
hoax,
not true, hoax. He got to say it all.
Blackmail. He got blackmail in.
Blackmail. He got blackmail. Yeah, he got blackmail. He got all the words. Like,
is Johnny Depp going to speak about the blackmail?
If he's asked, he will. It's up to the lawyers what they want to get out there, but he's allowed to speak on anything that's asked. So.
Well, it's going to be an objectionable day, I think, from Rotten Bum.
So Intrigued is reminding me that because he's already been sworn in as a witness, that they're not allowed to talk to him. bets last night. They weren't allowed to talk to him and instruct him on his trial because she's correct. He's already sworn in as a witness. So you got to imagine he's still sitting in the chair, even though he went home to go to bed and go to sleep. But you got to picture that he's still sitting there on the stand and they're not allowed to approach him. Yeah.
Yeah. They strapped him down overnight.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Intrigue. I should have remembered that. He's already sworn in. They're not allowed to talk to him. Yep. At all. Until after cross. So there you go. Hopefully then that's iffy. Now I'm worried because he didn't get a lecture. So now I'm a little concerned. Hopefully he remembers the pre-lecture and he feels a little bad about oh my God, you did it to me. This haunts me. Jesus Christ. There's nothing like turning around to your laptop and that is what I see all over my screen. Like, oi. It's not good.
I picked up another one yesterday. Let me take this comment off.
Yeah, I like that pirate wink. What the heck is that? Like, what the heck? When was this? Like, what part?
This was a defaulting. She was having a fit, I think.
I have no idea what is going on there. Like, what could she possibly? I don't know.
Well, she was winking at someone, right? Was she winking at Johnny Depp?
I would hope not. Like, that's scary. That's not a very flattering wink. I mean, would you get? I would. I don't know.
I've got another one. Let me bring it up. This was her leaving yesterday. Have a look at this one.
Oh,
oh, that's a good one.
I can just see, Ranty's laptop or Ranty's computer. He's got a file over there. It's called mugshots.
Oh. If you know anything about me, I definitely like to save these things. That's what saved my ass, with my own case. That's what saved my ass because I literally had all of the information. I don't delete anything. And I suppose that's the way you've got to be, and that's the good thing. I mean, I know they had to drag up Johnny's old texts and everything like that, but with me, you don't have to do it. I've kept every single one. So I've got the lot. I don't throw evidence away.
I'll have you know that you encouraged Beaver to torture me with that Amber stink face just as much as you do on the screen. She took a clip of us talking and then you throwing the screen up there and me screaming. She sent it to me in DMs. So when I played it, the face just popped up and I hear myself going, like scream like, oh my God, what is going on with that face? But yeah, so she torturing me too. And now there's another one. Like, oh my God.
I think that's what she's going to be like for the rest of this trial.
And Joe says if we plan on having an objection drinking game today, we're going to have to put ambulances on, standby.
No, this is what happened. Yeah. This is what happens when the Botox wears off, guys.
Oh God, is that rubber face melting? Is that it? It's like relaxed rubber face? Oh,
yeah.
That's not good.
Don't forget, she probably gets injected so that there's no movement of her face whatsoever when she's in the court. And then it only lasts for like 8 hours and then it wears off. This is the end result, guys.
This is not good. This is
melty
not good.
Face.
Oh no, Very.
So, guys, which one do you like? If you like this image on screen right now of Amber, if you prefer this one, press 1. And if you prefer this other image of Amber that I'm going to pop up now, I want you to press 2. So tell me which one you actually prefer.
Do I have to choose? Like, I don't want to see either one of them, really, especially not that big on my laptop, like right in my face. Like,
So this is number 2, and this one is number 1. Which one's your favorite one? And
I can tolerate number 2. This number 1 is like really annoying me.
Everyone likes 2. Everyone likes 2.
It's a favorite. It's a classic, Oh, Colin says 0. I'm kind of with you on that one. Beaver, not to put that number in the chat unless you have a phone number. The rules, they follow me. Stop it, girl. There's teasing. There's false advertisement. Don't do it.
Right. So, what's your predictions for the final result from what you've seen so far? Do you think that Johnny can actually get a full-on win here? Do you think he's going to get some money out of Amber?
Well, that is very hard to do without seeing their side yet. They've got very aggressive lawyers, and they don't seem to play fair. So I am predicting a very go for the heartstrings kind of defense on their part against an assault on the jury with this way. And they're going to try to take apart all of the evidence. And when the main theme I see is that everybody worked for Johnny, Johnny paid them. So of course they're going to say that. I see a lot of that coming. So I do see some problems, but I'm still hopeful. I'd have to say I'm leaning more towards Johnny winning. I don't think it's about the money. I think it's just about his reputation. I don't know if he's going to get all the money. We have to actually prove in defamation that he lost a lot of money to get some money. And to see if they'll do punitive damages. And it all depends on if that op-ed goes in as is, then that's a key linchpin there. So I'm thinking he'll win. That's where my hope is. That's where my, but I do see a struggle. I do see us having some painful days when the other testimony comes out, because
Do you know what I think?
it's an emotional situation, and she can use it to her advantage. And I think they will.
I think Johnny doesn't care about money. I don't think he even cares about his career anymore. For him, it's all about his reputation, just as it was with me. You can take a lot of things from people. You can have money one day and you can be totally destitute the next, right? But you can always come back from that. But once you take somebody's reputation, once you ruin that, that's almost impossible to come back from. So just like him, just like me, a matter of pride, principle, you don't care about what you have to say. You just have to clear your name. And I think that's what he's doing. In the court of public opinion, he's clearing his name. And what transpires after that transpires. I don't think it's about the money for him. I don't think that at all. I think he just wanted his fans to know the truth, for the world to know the truth. And this is going to be his victory, regardless of whether he gets a payout from Heard. Because I'll tell you something, her counterclaim is going nowhere.
Right. It's true. And he didn't do it. And that's all he wants known. That is, he did not abuse her. He would not hit her like that. That's not him. That's personal for him, coming from his childhood, and how, what he had to put up with his mother, how he has gone his whole life walking away from those situations. To have that label on him is probably the most offensive thing you can possibly think of. And I don't blame him for fighting tooth and nail to get it off of him.
And he accepts that, nobody's perfect. I accept that I'm not perfect. I've had problems in my life. I've been down, I've been up, I've been down again, and I own those. I own those problems and I accept it. I am here now. That's it. That's all I know. I'm here now, but I'm here now with my reputation intact, and that's all I care about. And I think that's what Johnny's just the same. He doesn't. He knows that he was railroaded by the media. He knows he was railroaded by probably some very powerful people behind the scenes that made this happen, and he feels it was an injustice on him, considering how much he's given to the world through his acting, through his arts, through his benevolence. And I think that he's rectifying a wrong right now, and he's going against these media moguls that are clearly protecting the Murdoch empire, and probably Elon Musk behind the scenes too. So he's going against them and winning this court of, it's about public opinion, and he's winning that.
I think he is winning public opinion. I think slowly but surely his reputation is being restored, and the truth is coming out. Regardless of the outcome of this case, the tide has turned. The tide has definitely turned against Amber for what she has done in this case. About, if you did have an issue, there were better ways to actually address it.
I think Johnny could do any film going forward after this, and it would be a box office smash. Regardless,
I would watch
it. Have that much support. I would watch it
just because he was in it. On that note, Fantastic Beasts, is it Fantastic Beasts or whatever? It's not doing as well as they thought. which
It could
is
be game over for it. It could be literally game over for that franchise now.
I mean, people are starting to judge with their pocketbooks. You know, money has become something that we can wield as a weapon. We're learning as the little people to use it just like the big people do. You know, like just like the 1% does. Use it to your advantage. Where you'll spend your money should be your voice. You know, you don't have to agree. So yeah, it's probably a great movie. You know, I'm disappointed because I love the series. I loved the movies. I absolutely adored every word of the books. Okay. Not so much a fan of JK's politics, but as an author, I am able to separate the person and the creative product. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to push them aside. So I'm a big fan of the books and everything. And then I won't watch the movie though. I won't spend a cent to do it. I won't give them the view because I'm just being a pedant. I'm just being stubborn. I won't. I'm just being really ornery and an ornery bear about this one. You know, they did Johnny wrong, and he was a great character, and there was no need to remove him.
I don't think they'll go back to the UK. I don't think they'll try the case again in the UK. I don't think they could do that.
For the libel? No, that's
Yeah.
done. I don't, he lost the ability to appeal. This is not even an option, Alman, according to, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Ranty, but what I learned about English law during that trial was that it is up to, they had a 3-judge, or what we call in America judges or magistrates. They had 3 of them going over the opinion of the judge who decided, just to see if he could even appeal. And they stuck by what he did and didn't even open it up for appeal at all. So it's closed, it's done, dusted,
No, the appeal was decided on the judge himself. What was he called? Judge
Nicol.
Judge Nicol, yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Judge Nicol decided on the case first and foremost, and then he decided alone on his own whether or not Johnny could appeal it. There was no other 3 judges involved.
No, there was 3. I watched it. There was 3 magistrates up there going over that opinion to see if he could go forward any further, and they tossed it. They said, nope, Judge Nichols' opinion stands. Yeah, I watched that live, actually. There were 3 of them.
I don't think that was well. If you watched it live, then clearly I'm wrong. But I didn't realize that was the case.
You know what? We could go. I think I'll get you a link later. Actually, the Nick Wallace actually has a good coverage of the whole thing, and I think I actually still have the documents and the final stuff somewhere in my Discord from the UK when the actual opinions came out and they put them all out. But I remember watching, because I was fascinated that y'all still wear the wigs and everything. Like I watched it every day. I watched it with my friend from England. Like we would stream it together. Behind the scenes, not out on YouTube or anything, but it was fascinating. Just the big books they were walking around with and all the different lawyers. They didn't get to present any evidence. It was all based on whether or not the judge's opinion, if he had the right to make the opinion that he did, and he did. So they tossed it.
So yeah, going back to the Fantastic Beasts though, I think J.K. Rowling actually wrote the scripts for the film, so she was the script writer. Which is what she wasn't. She wasn't that in the original Harry Potter movies. So there was a whole reason. There was a bunch of reasons why.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people don't realize that Fantastic Beasts was actually part of the Harry Potter franchise. So if they'd have included, some kind of reference to Harry Potter, like they'd have called it something else, but not Fantastic Beasts, but somehow linked it to that franchise, then it might have performed better. I think that, who was it? Ezra Miller. Ezra
Miller. Yeah, he had an issue. Yeah,
issue. He's had the police called on him 10 times.
I know. Let's say he's an issue then.
Yeah, he's an issue.
He is an issue. Yeah, of course. And
Johnny Depp getting fired as well. I mean, all of these things had an impact. If you lose 2 or 3% from one thing and 2 or 3% for another, and then the fact that the script writing was written by J.K. Rowling, she's not a script writer. She writes books, so she wasn't that. That isn't her forte. She might be a great author, but she's not a great script writer.
even regardless of the script, just her reputation, she just has a habit of stepping in it out there politically right now, and that could also be playing. I mean, she's not, so that could be an issue too.
Well, yes, let's hope that he wins. It's going to come down to the jury, obviously. And I think the guy that got excused, I'll have to say, he sounded like he had not a Native American accent. It would have been some kind of like a foreign accent, I would say.
Who?
The guy that was excused that said they had the hernia.
Oh no, he did. He sounded to me, he sounded to have an accent, but more in a Spanish tone, like could have been, I'm not sure of all the different Spanish dialects. It could have been, it could have been Portugal, it could have been, Colombian, it could have been Mexican, it could have been anything. But to me, that's what it sounded like. Even Tex-Mex,
and that interests me because I'm thinking who, because obviously you've got to decide who you want to be on the jury. It's sort of like both sides make those selections. So who do you think? Why would they have wanted to go for a foreign?
Oh, I don't know.
Foreign jury member for that.
Maybe just because he hadn't heard of either party, or he wasn't watching the social medias. Maybe because he was an average man, or maybe he's been divorced, or I don't know. Maybe because of situational. Who knows?
Yeah, because it's all very strategic, right? There's a lot of strategy going on. It's not just from some random people that have sat down in the jury. They've been handpicked. So they've been handpicked for a reason. I'm wondering just whose side that, lost out in that particular thing, because Johnny Depp gets to pick 3, she gets to pick 3. I wonder which one it favored. So that's what I was trying to get at, but I don't know. I couldn't guess. I mean, do you think Johnny Depp will have bigger support from females or males? What do you think his demographic's going to be?
I think it should be pretty mixed. I mean, he always had a strong female demographic. I mean, come on, it's Johnny Depp. But he is a wonderful actor. But based on this issue, I would hope he's got a lot of men in here pulling for him. I see in your chat he does. I see in my chats he does. And people that come and watch my stuff, they're very strong. And my friends and the people that I talk to, of course, they want to see him win, and they're supporting on this. So I would think it would be more 50-50, at least I hope. I want to see a lot more men coming forward in great support. What I really want to see is a lot more of Hollywood, or a lot more blue checks on Twitter coming out. Like Candace Owen just did. People, come on. Like, if Candace can do it, you can do it. Don't let her be the only one. Come on.
Yeah.
There are slowly people coming out and saying, we stand for the Me Too movement, but not its hijacking. That's what I want to see. If you're standing there as an advocate for Me Too, you need to also stand there and say, this isn't right to use it against people this way. You need to have both sides of that sword, or you're not a true advocate. You're not supporting the true cause. Or the true cause is to protect victims and not let people like Amber put victims in danger by taking away from all of the laws, all of the regulations, all of the protections that have been put in place by misusing them.
I'm sure that there's quite a lot of people on here that use Twitter, and I'm sure that some of you may know this person. I'm going to post the link in the chat. If you haven't already, or you are not actually following this particular actress, I would highly recommend you go over and give her the support, because she's been a very vocal, even though it could be detrimental to her career, supporter of Johnny Depp, having worked with him in the past. Sophia Miles, she follows me. She follows me on Twitter.
She follows you.
And I talk to her.
Is she single? Is she single? Yeah.
She's single, and I talk to her quite a lot. So there you go.
I'm impressed. Yeah. You're coming out swinging in this dating game. Camille. You aim high. You got an actress. You're after Camille Vasquez. Like, go for it.
Oh, it's all coming out now.
I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you.
So Sophia, she's an absolute star. She's an absolute star.
I already follow her. She don't follow me. I'm not her type, Randy. But I've been following her. I was happy to see that I am following her.
She actually let me know that she was going to be starring in Silent Witness before anybody knew, which was interesting. So she'd been given the part to play in the first two episodes of the new series of Silent Witness. So that was kind of like a scoop. So I kept that secret, but now it's out in the open. But she's a very, very, very good actress, but very vocal about Johnny Depp too. So there are actresses out there that have worked with Johnny in the past that have been very vocal on Twitter that are rooting for Johnny. So it's not all about like the Candace Owens and stuff like that. There are people that have been doing this for a very long time. She just didn't suddenly decide to be a Johnny Depp follower. He's been supporting him for the past few years. So yeah, give that lady a follow.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll put her actually show her on screen. There you go. Sophia Miles. Go and check her out. Right, so we've got the security guy who's going to finish off his testimony today. He's going to be cross-examined. Who do you think is going to do the cross-examining?
Oh, it's going to be Rottenbaum. They'd be absolutely out of their mind if they let Elaine do it. Although I'm hoping they do for our entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, but I would think they would be out of their mind to put Elaine in front of him. But
yeah, it's never, ever, ever going to happen. There's no way in a million years that witness, because he's so strong, he's so forceful with his words, powerful. He will. The only person that could control him is Rottenbaum, like you say.
Well, Johnny has arrived at the courthouse and he's looking quite dapper, and his hair is pulled back. His hair is pulled back.
I said.
There's the alert. There's the alert for the court. You heard it here first, but I didn't hear it. I didn't get it first. I got it courtesy of Intrigued Feline sending me Twitter feeds. like a she's got her ear to the pulse of Twitter right now on Johnny Depp. she does. Yeah. And I thank her for it. Thank you, because he looks quite handsome today. Actually, he's wearing a lovely suit. It's going to be nice. And
some people say he's lost weight. Some people say he's lost weight.
You know, that's the one thing with addiction and all. You're coming off the pills and the alcohol and all. It does wreak havoc on your body. It changes you. It changes your metabolism. It changes how your body functions in general. And sure, he's got a lot he's dealing with there for body image and things like that, along with all of this stress that is going on. It can't be easy. But he's quite the handsome guy. You know, even he's aging like fine wine. I'm telling you.
Speaking of hairstyles, though, what did his hairstyle show yesterday? I'll tell you what it showed to me. His new hairstyle showed the world and the jury, I have nothing to hide. Look at my face. I have nothing to hide here. You can all see it and watch it and take it all in, because I'm not hiding away anymore. The first week he was down, he had his hair down, he didn't know what to do. The second week he's come out batting. He's pulled his hair back. He's saying, right, look at me. I'm coming out. I got nothing to hide, right? And then on the other side of the coin, we had Amber Heard, who was giving that, I've got nothing to hide the first week. And then yesterday, she was cousin it, right? That's what she was. She was hidden away. No one could see her face. She was literally the embodiment of somebody that was hiding away, shriveling away with her hairstyle, used as a weapon to protect her face.
You know what? And I agree. It shows they're two different styles. He, open, honest, nothing to hide. Her, I'm just going to hide back here and just let you like make your own, try to give you nothing to go by so that the perception is better. Like, because honesty, honesty is not a good thing. I know.
I love that photo.
I just knew if I turned around, there was going to be Amber on the screen. I just knew it. I could hear you snickering.
Is she? I think I'm going to make a prediction that she wears the same hairstyle today, because she won't want to have her face, any reactions seen by the jury when Johnny's testifying. She has to hide that face of hers. She has to hide it forever. I Oh, dear me. So what, have we got 15 minutes left? And then
Yes, we do. Yes,
then it all kicks off. Then we're here for another, what is it, 8 hours or so? I think yesterday we did 9 hours and more.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did 9. Yeah, we did. We're troopers. What can we say? We hit a lot. We hung in there. And today's going to be exciting. So it's probably going to be easier to put in the hours, especially if Johnny's going to be there. You know.
Gemstone. Did people reface her stink face onto different things? Will you show us?
I don't know. I have not seen any. I mean, Twitter did have a few, funny things. I think people are working. Randy put a few out there. He's quite the funny guy with the memes and stuff like that. And there was quite a few other ones that I think today we might get more. I mean, that pirate, the way she was scrunching her face up there with that wink was kind of piratey. I was waiting to see a couple of memes on that. We'll see.
Check this out. Check this out. What I did for you guys yesterday. If, in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see custom emojis. Where you could type on YouTube. Where you type in the top chat. So where you can put your emojis in.
Yeah.
So if you click that, you've got all these emojis on the top line. If you go across to the right-hand side, you've got Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and you've got a justice for Johnny there. I'm just going to post right now. There we go. Justice for Johnny. So any channel member that's out there that wants to do that every now and then and wants to give a bit of support and add a little to their message, then there we go. Beaver's unit found what she was doing.
Yes.
And if you want me to make any of those little things, let me know. I can make a few more.
Well, gosh, you made the most popular one. There's the stink face.
Stink
for sure. I can't. The stink face. Oh, but this is my favorite, the one with Johnny pointing that you used on the thumbnail. The first one when we had him up on your shoulder over there, when he was up over your shoulder on our first backdrop that you had.
Yep. I know. Right, listen. DJ Hush Puppy says, "Can you do a 20-second rundown to what to expect today and who's on the stand?" Right, are you gonna time me? Right. What's going to happen today? We've got security guy coming on first to finish his testimony, being cross-examined. Then, by all accounts, we do know that Johnny Depp is going to appear on the stand today to start his testimony, and it's going to be rather revealing.
And I'd like to add that there is a second security guard that needs to testify, so that could come in also. And we still also have lots to do with the police for the same incident. It all ties together. So who knows? It's going to be exciting no matter what. No matter what.
Auditing the absurd, you need an Amica cream one. Yes, I do. I'll have a look for an Amica cream one.
Yeah, or decisions, the tube or the pot. I mean, I think we need the pot of it, like the big jar, because
is there a pot of Amica cream on Twitter? Has anyone done one?
Somebody did it. Yes, there was, like Amazon had it in the pot. I think
Amica cream. Yeah. I'm gonna Google it.
I know I might have a picture of it all right somewhere. Let me hold on, because it was like it was in a pot, I think. Oh. Oh my gosh.
Amica cream.
Oh no, that's insane. It's insane. It's in Amazon, it's Arnica. You got to go ARNICA. Because only Elaine calls it that. I don't know what's wrong with Elaine. She's like,
Oh, I've got it. Oh,
there you go. You see the tub of it? It's like,
yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've got it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. See? Okay.
Right.
So I don't have to keep looking. I'm going to stop looking then, because my DMs are full of this funny stuff and I'm getting distracted by all of the memes. I love you people sending me this. You make my morning. I'm telling you. You're all just trying to get me to spit my cuppa though, because there's a running joke on my channel. My keyboard sticks now because of all the times they make me laugh out loud, and I'm always drinking coffee and I end up just spewing. I can't with the big boisterous laugh. It's not a little laugh. I never just snicker,
Right. So I'm gonna. What?
Oh gosh, Charlie, they're so rude. No, ouch. Oh, you.
I'm just
yes, DJ
now.
Hush Puppy, I am as advertised with the avatar. Absolutely, it is true. big brown eyes, red hair. I don't often wear cat ears in public, though. There.
Right, here we go. I should have the Amica cream up now. Yes, there we go. Check that.
Huh?
There's the Amica cream.
Yeah. Oh, and Colin. Oh, Colin says that there's a fridge called Amica. Maybe that's why Elaine says it. She put her cream in there. So she puts her arnica in her Amica fridge. And then she gets them confused. I guess. Oh, look, we have a new emoji. There you go. Yes, redhead love. Thank you, Ginger. And thank you, DJ. Look at all the redheads in your chat there.
Sorry, say again. Who's the redhead in the chat?
Ginger Lee and DJ Hush Puppy.
Oh, right. So I get all the redheads over here. Are you a redhead too?
Yes, as advertised. My avatar is correct. My hair's that long. I wear it on the side. Everything but the cat ears. I do not have cat ears around right now. But I'm not a blue-eyed redhead. I'm a big brown-eyed redhead.
Okay. So might get you on cam one day to
you keep saying that. I don't want to disappoint you, but probably not happen. I might, behind the scenes show you that I'm a real person, but never out here on YouTube. I have issues with YouTube about it. I'm gonna be stubborn. Yeah, that part about redhead, I definitely have down.
Well, I have blonde hair and blue eyes, as you can see.
I know you're quite the charmer. You are actually. I have to make you an avatar.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I actually need an avatar. I've got my Audit in the Absurd logo, obviously, but it would be nice to get a little avatar as well going. I
want you to have one so you can come on my channel. Maybe you can do an M on the asshole with me, and we can crack up. You're very funny. There's many things we could. Very funny.
I can be funny when I want to. Let me play you.
Which is all the time because you have me. I'm up here trying to be serious, and I'm cracking up all the time.
Watch this.
Girl, you know that's not right. I'm not an abuser. You headbutted my fist repeatedly. It was not my fault. I didn't hit you. The door hit you. It wasn't me. It was the door, and it's your fault for putting doors in the apartment. Who puts doors in the apartment? You should have known not to be anywhere near those doors. Those doors are dangerous. Girl, I didn't chop your finger off. You chopped your finger off. It was your fault. You shouldn't have bought all those bottles of wine. You should have known how dangerous they were. And it wasn't me. I didn't do it physically. It was the bottle's fault. You should have moved your finger. And babe, you know it's you always hitting me. Look at these bruises. And now I just found out my nose is broken as well. Look. And it's not my fault that I don't swell up. They called me rubber-faced Andy Hurd at school.
It's a good thing you muted me. I was so loud. Oh my god! Every time I see it, I can't control myself. I'm just. Oh my god! It's the door part for me. Once that part happens, I'll just totally lose it and I don't come back. I just can't. Oh my god! Oh, that was so brilliant.
So. I want to respond to my Beavers unit. Yes, I live in Blackpool. You know where that is in the UK. And we also have well, hold on, wait a minute. Let's see. I've not put it in. Hang on. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
Yeah. Everything's all different this morning. The backdrop, everything's a little.
Yes, a little
you
bit.
You have your buttons.
Yeah, that should have worked. I don't know why that didn't. Hang on.
You got to install that shut up Claire button, because you're gonna need it. Oh, stop laughing.
Why is that not working then? I don't know what the hell's going on here. That should work. Right, Right, let's get rid of that then. Right, put that in there. Right, let's try this. That didn't work, did it? We just got a super chat. That did though.
Oh, there
we
that
go.
did. That did.
From Sandy for the cushion gel fund. Oh my god, yeah, I definitely need that. My ass. I've been sitting here for hours and hours and hours.
Why are they saying it's like a dating channel now? Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I have no idea what you're all talking. Did something happen in the chat? I don't know.
What's that? A dating chair? Did you say?
Yeah, Joe Black wants to know if it's a dating channel now. No, I don't know. What did we do? I don't know. I was laughing at the jokes.
Oh, is this a dating channel now? Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we trying to hook you up? Are we trying like he's doing okay on his own? I'm telling you, Camille Vasquez, Sophie.
Yeah.
He's doing
Yeah,
okay.
she might be a little far away though. I mean, I could do with someone a little bit nearer, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
we shall see.
This is true.
Maybe if I become famous one day, I might be able to pick up a hottie.
That's my problem. I always meet people that are like way, way too far away. Like
Oh, she's got her hair back. She's got her hair back. So let me show you this. Here we go.
Okay. Did she put it? Oh, she put. Oh my! I can't. Oh look. Oh, she did it. She put it in a ponytail.
She's heavily maked up today.
And in a ponytail because he wore his hair in a ponytail yesterday.
Oh,
I can't stand her. I cannot stand her. I can't stand her. Oh my God, she did it. There's your $20 there, Joe Black. She did it. She put it in a ponytail.
$20. $20.
Well, 20 pounds. That's like different to American dollars.
Oh my God.
Well,
she's copied. What was Johnny wearing yesterday? I can't recall.
A ponytail for one, in a dark suit, in a lighter shirt, I believe. Johnny should come in. He looks very spiffy today, but I believe it was a light shirt like that. That bow tie shirt thing is different. Like he didn't wear anything like that. But
hey, girl, look at those fucking roots, man.
Yeah, you don't look so cute. I wish she should have washed her hair for sure. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna be giving her hairdressing advice. Oh my God.
She's not wearing a bra.
How can you tell? Like, I can't tell. Like, how do you know? I don't know. No.
I don't know either. This is right. Oh, yes, she's not wearing a bra.
Oh my, she's not. Oh Lord. Like,
she's braless.
Oh.
Oh no. There we go. Oh no, she's braless.
I knew you were gonna get that shot. Oh my God. Like, I can't. I just can't.
Oh dear me.
This is not how I thought the trial was going to start. Like, come on. Like, this
I need to. I might make a meme of that. I'm going to print screen that.
Well, she's not hiding today, Ranty. She's not hiding today.
Dear me.
I know, Robski. Like, come on, right? Yes, that's it, Mingo. Nipple turd. You got it. There's the new name for today.
Nipple turd.
Hit Twitter with that one, people. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Crikey.
Talk about ... I wonder if she's got a third. ... Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Has she got a bra? ...
Yes. Talk about a ... Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, Kyle says, to be fair, I love you guys. I'm getting very, very fond of each and every one of you. You're cracking me up. Oh my God, Kyle. No, I don't think he was. I don't know Johnny to be a bra wearer generally. Not that he couldn't pull it off, as far as I'm concerned, but still, yeah. Oh my God. You don't recall, James? Oh my God. You don't. Oh my God.
I have a great audience over here. This is what makes
you do. I'm in love with your audience. I am. I love starting my day laughing, and I have no choice but to laugh my ass off the whole time I'm here. But which is it's a great joy.
There we have it.
Oh,
Nipplegate.
oh, they say she definitely has one on. It's just not concealing. She's not wearing a t-shirt, bro, which gives you extra material around that area. But yeah.
It's
Oh,
still
you know,
hard on the eyes.
I do. It's yeah. That's a lovely play on words there, Randy. That was immaculate. It was, I don't. Oh God. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, dearie me.
Now we got to be serious. The judge is in the court.
Do we have any matters before the jury comes out? Wow. Okay, that's a good day. All right. If we could have the witness, Mr. Bett, come back to the stand. Is he here, or is he outside? All right. Just so we can be ready to go.
Mm. I know, Joe. Oh my God. I bet you the judge does.
She might have had boob implants again, Sandy. You could be onto something there.
Mm.
She wore her hair in a ponytail, though.
I know.
The day after Johnny Depp.
You know,
Do you know what we're saying about his personality disorder? She's got no style of her own.
I'm getting Bunny Boiler vibes. I'm
Come
serious,
back
you
to
know,
the stand,
from
please. Thank you.
It is Bunny Boiler stuff, right?
it's Fatal Attraction for sure. She's stalking this dude. Like, I'm fearful for him now. She wore a ponytail. Mm.
The first day she had a ponytail, the day after Johnny Depp does what?
Mm.
Who's it going to be? Who's going to be doing the cross-examination? Is it Rotten Bum?
You know, it's Rotten Bum. They'd be insane to send Elaine over there, as entertaining as it would be. Oh,
Is it Rotten Bum?
Rotten Bum. You got me saying that all the time. I can't even say his name proper anymore. Rotten Born? Is it Born? Rotten
Well,
Born.
For those of you wanting to know the names of the attorneys, I've got the names running on the bottom of the screen for you right now to have a look at. We have on Johnny's team Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez. And on Amber's team, we have Ben Rottenborn, aka Rotten Bum, and Elaine Breedhoff.
Hey, hoy.
All right. You can have a seat, Mr. Bett. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Just a reminder, Mr. Bett, that you're still under oath, okay? All right. Thank you. All right. Cross-examination.
Good morning, Mr. Bett.
Good morning.
You're a full-time employee of Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
You've been working with Mr. Depp for about 15 years,
Give or take, correct.
and you make a salary from Mr. Depp, right?
I do.
And in your role, one of your top priorities is to make sure Mr. Depp is safe and that if he's out, he gets home safely, correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Depp's safety is a priority over others that may be out with Mr. Depp, correct?
His safety along with the safety of the people that are around him.
But Mr. Depp's safety is the top priority, correct?
Correct.
That just goes without saying, right? In your role as his chief of security, right?
Well, as I said, it's his safety, but those that are around him as well.
Right.
But
But
he
it
is, he is a priority.
and your job as security is to remain discreetly in the background, right?
Correct.
You were not part of Mr. Depp's family, right?
Correct.
You're not with him 24/7, right?
Correct.
And you weren't with him 24/7 when he was in a relationship with Miss Heard, correct?
Correct.
And you obviously have no personal knowledge of what happens when you're not around, correct?
That's correct.
And you have no personal knowledge of what happens behind closed doors with Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
You weren't, when Mr. Depp was in a relationship with Miss Heard, you weren't traveling out of Los Angeles as part of Mr. Depp's security, correct?
I did on one occasion.
No, what occasion was that?
We did a trip to Austin, Texas.
But other than that, you didn't travel outside of LA as part of your security when he was with Miss Heard, correct?
Correct.
So you weren't in Australia in March of 2015, right?
Correct.
You weren't on a plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014, correct?
Correct.
You didn't go to the Bahamas with him, correct?
Correct.
You didn't go to Tokyo with him and Miss Heard, correct?
Correct.
You're around him almost every day when he's in Los Angeles, right?
Almost.
Picking up food for him,
Yes.
pick up medicine for him,
Yes.
help coordinate visitors to his house
Correct.
or his houses, pick up groceries for him,
Yes.
and you let him into places like his residences, right?
Correct.
Because he doesn't carry keys for them, right?
Correct.
You drive him places,
I do.
right? Almost every time he leaves his property, he's being driven rather than driving, correct?
Almost every time.
And you help arrange that, right?
Yes.
Your responsibility, one of them, is to help get him where he needs to go, right?
Yes.
You've woken him up in the mornings before.
I have.
And yesterday, I believe you testified that sometimes Mr. Depp would have just a glass of wine or two, right?
Yes.
And you testified that his demeanor when he was slightly intoxicated was the same as if he had had a glass of sparkling water. Remember giving that testimony?
I do.
Fact is, you've seen him much more impaired than that, right?
I have.
You've seen him impaired enough that you've had to help put him to bed before, right?
I don't understand by putting him to bed.
Well, there have been times when Mr. Depp was so impaired that you had to get up the stairs and open the bedroom doors for him, right?
Well, that specific bedroom door in his Los Angeles house, it has a tricky lock to it. So it's, there have been times where I've gone upstairs and maybe had a glass of water for him. And so I would have to open that door for him. Correct.
Right. So you've gotten him into bed. You've gotten him some water. You've asked him if he needs anything, right?
Correct.
In times when he's been impaired, correct?
And times when he's just had breakfast and some coffee.
And you've stayed with him during times when he's been impaired. There's times when you've stayed with him until he lays down and you tell him good night and that you'll see him the next day, right?
I wouldn't stay with him. I just would say goodnight. I'm going home and I'll see you tomorrow. Or if I happen to have a few days off, I'll see you in a few days.
Now, yesterday, you've actually prevented people from calling the police when Mr. Depp's behavior after drinking was bothering them, haven't you?
Prevented people?
Mhm.
There was one time, correct?
Yeah, and in that occasion, Mr. Depp and some other people had a couple perfect bottles of wine and pounded an entire bottle of tequila, right?
I don't remember how much they had to drink. No, I know there was drinking going on.
Mr. Depp told you that they had a couple bottles of perfect wine and pounded an entire bottle of tequila, right?
I don't remember. That was some time ago.
Heather, can you pull up Exhibit 892, please? Mr. Bett, is this a text exchange that you had with Mr. Depp on September 1st, 2017 at 2:34 to 2:36 in the afternoon?
If you just give me a moment, let me put my glasses on.
Sure, take your
I
time.
have a hard time. Thank you. Okay, much better. Can you repeat that statement of question?
Sure. My question was just, is this a text exchange that you and Mr. Depp had on September 1st, 2017 from 2:34 to 2:36 in the afternoon?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance, the
Right.
date. This is well after.
What's the relevance to 2017?
The relevance is that Mr. Bett testified yesterday that he'd seen Mr. Depp have a glass or two of wine, and this is direct evidence to contradict
All
that.
right, I'll allow it. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Since there's no time frame on that. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, according to the timestamp and date, that is a text message from Mr. Depp and I.
And at 2:34 p.m., Mr. Depp texts you, steaks were excellent, pondering, though we'll likely have dinner here. Steaks were excellent, a couple of bottles of perfect wine. We then pounded an entire bottle of tequila, 3 exclamation points. Then the savagery commenced, 2 exclamation points. Good morning, 3 exclamation points. Did I read that right?
You did. And there's an X and fascia after that.
And then you told Mr. Depp that you said, I prevented them from calling Popo.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. It's also improper impeachment.
That's for the context of the text. When he testified that he had prevented him from calling.
I'll
Thank you, Your Honor. So then, Mr. Bett, you texted Mr. Depp back 2 minutes later, and you said, I prevented them from calling Popo. Glad you had fun. You mean dinner in room or restaurant? Do you see that?
I do.
And you sent that text to Mr. Depp, correct?
I did.
And by Popo, you mean police, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You told him that you were glad he had fun, right?
Right.
Your Honor, permission, move for admission of Exhibit 892 and permission to publish.
Our objection is relevance. This is well past the relationship between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard.
Okay. If it was just used for impeachment, why would it come into evidence?
Well, it's Mr. Depp's statements about what he did when he pounded an entire bottle of tequila and the savagery that
Well,
commenced go
if you-
toward his use of alcohol. That's much greater than.
In 2017?
Mhm.
I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're aware that Mr. Depp has used drugs, right?
I am.
And you've helped facilitate Mr. Depp's drug use on occasion, correct?
I haven't.
I'm sorry?
I haven't.
You have not?
I have not.
Heather, can you pull up Exhibit 967, please? Mr. Bett, feel free to take the time that you need to review this document, familiarize yourself with it. But my first question for you is just, is this a text exchange that you had with Mr. Depp on June 12th, 2019?
June 12th. According to these transcripts, yeah, it has my name and his name on there.
Right. And if it starts at the bottom and goes up, correct?
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention to the timestamps.
That's okay.
My
It's
apologies.
hard to orient yourself with these sometimes.
Okay, at the bottom, yeah, I do see 6/12/19 at 1:50 p.m.
And then the more recent texts are as you go up the page, right?
Correct.
So in the bottom text, you're telling Mr. Depp that some people are at his house visiting, and you say they'll be at the pool in 10,
Objection, Your
right?
Honor. Hearsay. Also relevance. This is 2019.
What's the relevance?
He just testified that he hadn't helped facilitate Mr. Depp's drug use, so this is for impeachment, and this is, you got to read the text in context to see how it impeaches him.
All right, we could come.
Sure.
We could approach, please.
It seems like all this guy's trying to do is just trying to trip up the witnesses on what they have or haven't done. Nothing to do about Johnny Depp. We know Johnny took drugs. We know he got drunk. So fucking what? 2017 and 2019? Who cares? That was after their
Right.
breakdown. What, you don't
And
think he's going to lose his marbles after that, after he lost all his career? So what if he
Exactly.
went spiraled out of control in those years? Who gives a shit? When he was married to her, he wasn't doing it.
And sorry, Rottenbaum, you're talking about 2 bottles of wine with a whole group of people at a table having dinner. It wasn't Johnny by himself. So excuse me. Like, how is that? Like, it's not even really, it's reaching, really, trying to impeach a witness as if they're not credible over something that you are trying to skew. It's shady. Shady, shady, shady.
It's really poor that they're having to drag stuff up after they'd been married, you know, after
Look
all
at-
the allegations, rather than when they were together, because they don't have anything when they were together.
Yeah, look at the judge's face. She's like, listen, I'm sorry. I see what you're trying to do here, but relevance? Like, no, I'm sorry it's so far past. Like, you need something current. You need it in during the period of time. This is ridiculous. Like, you know, I don't think she should allow it. I think she needs to send him away. Camille is nodding and smiling, so she won.
Mr. Bett, you communicate with Mr. Depp through texts, correct?
I do.
That's your primary way of communicating with him?
Well, not primary. I mean, if I happen to be in his presence, we'll communicate.
Sure, but in terms of written communications, texting is the way that you guys primarily communicate, right?
Correct.
And that's the same thing the same way that you communicate primarily with his other employees or with his family as well, right?
Yes.
You have a practice of deleting all of your texts with him at the end of the day or week, correct?
That's correct.
So there wouldn't be texts from his time when he was in a relationship with Amber Heard that you have possession of, correct?
That's correct.
You've never seen Amber do something that you would call physically violent or an assault of Mr. Depp, correct?
Other than when I testified that she threw a water bottle or a plastic cup in his direction.
But that you wouldn't consider that physically violent or an assault of him, correct?
Well, in California, it's assault if you go to attempt to swing or throw something at somebody, even if you don't hit them.
You all right?
Savage.
Okay, you're standing. Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Mm.
Mr. Bett, do you remember giving a deposition in this case?
I do.
And you were under oath for that deposition, correct?
I was.
And I asked you a number of questions, right?
You asked me several, yes.
I did. And if you can turn to page 111 of this transcript, please. It's on page 28 of the
I
document.
know. I'm sorry. Okay.
And if you look at line 22, the last line, and then heading over to page 112, you see that?
Got it.
And in your deposition, I asked you this question and you gave this answer. Question. So is it fair to say that while you've seen Miss Heard yell and get emotional toward Johnny, you've never seen her do something that you would call physically violent or assault of Johnny? Answer. Correct. Did I read that right?
You did.
I'd like to turn to May 21st, 2016. That was the incident that we talked about last night, right before we adjourned for the day, correct?
Correct.
You and Mr. Jerry Judge brought Mr. Depp over to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building that night, right?
We did.
And you knew that he was going there to speak with Amber, correct?
And gather some belongings.
Your understanding was that Mr. Depp was going over there because they both wanted to talk and calm everything down, right?
Objection calls for speculation as to what Ms. Heard wanted.
I'll sustain the objection.
Mr. Depp told you that he and Amber were going to talk it out and talk about what's going on, correct?
Correct.
And he had wine in the car on the way over. I believe you testified yesterday, right?
He did have a glass of wine.
And I think you testified it's possible he had been drinking during the day before you brought him over there, correct?
Correct. I saw him with a wine glass after his meeting when he came out into the hallway.
And when you, no, I'm sorry, during the day before you picked him up to go over to the Eastern Columbia building, it's possible he had been drinking, correct?
Well, we were at a meeting. He did have a glass of wine in his hand, so I presume he was drinking.
And when you arrived at the Eastern Columbia building, you can't say one way or the other whether Mr. Depp was carrying wine with him into the building, right?
I can't remember.
You and Mr. Judge led him into Penthouse 3 and were in there for just a minute or two before you exited Penthouse 3, correct?
Yes, give or take.
And then you stayed outside in the hallway of Penthouse 3 for a bit, right?
A short period of time, correct.
I think you testified yesterday like 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, give or take.
And then from there, you went from the hallway outside of Penthouse 3 to Penthouse 5, the storage area where you had a couch and a TV and that sort of thing that you testified about, right?
That's correct.
Is that also known as the guard shack?
A modified version of the guard shack. It's just a place for us, as I testified yesterday, to rest or have lunch or some coffee.
Sometimes called the cubby hole, is that right?
We might have called that. I can't remember what.
Okay, just to orient us, Heather, can you please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 116? And Your Honor, I believe this has already been entered into evidence.
To be honest, this is all just utter bullshit. I mean, it means nothing in the big scheme of things. Whatever he's
Can
trying
you-
to dig
can you
at.
Rotate that, please.
He does appear he's reaching,
Counterclockwise.
really reaching.
Reaching about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Don't hurt yourself, rotten bum. Yeah.
Okay, and then maybe just blow it up, please. And Your Honor, permission to publish if it's
It is
not already.
published.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. So, Mr. Bett, if you, just to orient us, am I correct in saying that well, could you put your finger just on the guard shack area of Penthouse 5, please?
Sure.
if you
It's
touch the
just
screen, it will-
If you-
the diagram, the schematics is kind of off
Okay.
because the way Broadway is set up, it doesn't coincide with the way the buildings were. But I can make an attempt to show you where the.
Yeah, just, I think the screen will make a mark if you show on it.
Okay.
Boring. Reaching.
I mean, I'm having a.
Hmm. Well, I'm not seeing any marks. Okay, good.
So this is, I'd say right in this area right here.
Okay,
Is it showing up?
Yes.
Because there would be elevators to the right.
it is.
Okay,
Yep,
Okay.
that's showing up.
okay,
So that's down the hall from outside of Penthouse 3, right?
correct.
And you stayed in that guard shack for, I believe you said 5 to 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yes,
So if you spent about 10 minutes outside Penthouse 3 and then 5 to 10 minutes inside the guard shack, you say you were at the building for what, a total of 30 minutes or so?
it could have been a little bit longer. It could have been 40. It could have been closer to an hour. It was quite some time ago.
But you're fairly confident it was 40 minutes to an hour?
Around that time frame, correct.
And you said that you arrived at the building sometime between 7:15 and 7:45. Is that what you said yesterday?
Yeah.
What's your
around-
best guess?
It would be an estimate guess, maybe more towards 8-ish. But again, it could have been 7:30.
Okay. More towards 8-ish. All right. And so you stayed in the guard shack for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you left the guard shack and headed back up the hall toward the door of Penthouse 3, right?
Yes,
And at some point you heard Amber shouting and you let yourself into Penthouse 3, right?
that's correct.
The closest you got to Amber when you went into Penthouse 3 was 15 to 20 feet, right?
Around that, correct.
And you were in Penthouse 3 for just about 30 seconds to a minute before you left again with Mr. Depp, right?
Around that time frame.
You don't remember what Miss Heard was wearing, do you?
I don't.
And you can't remember if she was crying when you saw her, right?
I didn't see her crying.
You can't remember if she was crying, right?
I just said I didn't see her crying.
She could have been crying, right?
Objection calls for speculation and asked and answered.
It's a different question.
Well, I'll sustain that objection. The next question.
And you can't remember if she had any makeup on or not, right?
If she did, she had very little.
You just can't remember if she did, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's possible, but it was a long time ago.
Got to get that Amica cream out. It's all going to come down to the Amica cream, guys.
In your deposition.
Can we get some Amica cream in the chat? If you're a channel member, splash that Amica cream all over the place.
Okay, that'd be page 40 as well.
Page 40, yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. And on line 1, I asked you the question, did Miss Heard have any, you couldn't tell if she was wearing any makeup, right? Your answer was, I can't remember if she had any makeup on or not. Did I read that right?
You did.
Which is exactly what he's just said. What a
And you
dick.
don't know what, you have no personal knowledge of what transpired in Penthouse 3 while you were outside of it that evening, correct?
I don't.
And you have no personal knowledge of whether Amber had a phone thrown in her face by Johnny Depp that evening, correct?
I don't.
Because you weren't there, right?
That's correct.
So you left Penthouse 3 and then you went into Penthouse 5 at Mr. Depp's insistence that he get into Penthouse 5, right?
And that's correct.
And he was agitated at this time, right?
I'm sorry. You said I went into Penthouse 3 or Penthouse 5 at this time?
I'm sorry. You left Penthouse 3 after 30 to 60 seconds with Mr. Depp and Mr. Judge, and you went to Penthouse 5, right?
Correct.
And that's because Mr. Depp was demanding to get into Penthouse 5, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Depp was agitated at this time, right?
Yeah, I'd say he was agitated.
And one of the reasons that you could tell that he was agitated was because this wasn't the first time you had seen him agitated, right?
Well, no.
Mr. Depp told you to let him into Penthouse 5, and you did that, right?
Yes.
And when he left Penthouse 3 to go to Penthouse 5, you can't remember if he had wine in his hand or not, correct?
I can't.
I'm sorry?
I can't.
Cannot?
Cannot.
And when he walked into Penthouse 5, inside were Rocky Pennington, her fiance, Josh Drew, and another woman and a dog, right?
That's correct.
And Mr. Depp told them to get out of his penthouse, right?
Yes,
And they exited, right?
they did.
And you can't remember one way or the other whether Mr. Depp knocked anything off the table in any of the penthouses, right?
It's possible he did, but I can't remember.
Did you or Mr. Judge, just to be clear, did you or Mr. Judge destroy any property or knock anything off tables in any of the penthouses that evening?
No.
You have no personal knowledge of whether or not Mr. Depp was violent to Miss Heard at times when you weren't around them, correct?
I have no knowledge.
And Miss Heard may have suffered injuries at the hands of Mr. Depp over the years that you didn't witness or you didn't see, correct?
Correct.
I'd like to end by just taking a look at the videos of you entering and exiting the building, I believe. Heather, could you pull up Exhibit 672? And Your Honor, I believe...
Timelines.
I believe that these were part of Mr. Patterson's deposition and that they've been admitted.
I do have 672 admitted, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
And the next one will be 666, just to confirm.
All right, we have that as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. Heather, could you play this starting at 1? Well, actually, before we start, do you see this on your screen, Mr. Bett?
I do.
And you see the timestamp that at the bottom, that shows what time the camera, the video was taken, correct?
I see the timestamp and the date.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this, Heather.
But
Start at
imagine this is all
1:55.
going to be about the times that he entered and the times that he left.
Yeah,
See what
they're
he's trying.
trying to mess with it, right?
Yeah, let's see what they're trying to. The good thing about this is this shows that he hasn't actually gone over the evidence with Johnny Depp's legal team to make a story up.
That's you in
He
that
is recalling it.
white shirt,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
That's Mr. Depp in the hat,
Correct.
and that's Mr. Judge to his left.
Correct.
And this video is when you're entering the Eastern Columbia building to take him to Penthouse 3, correct?
Correct.
So it's actually a good bit earlier than you testified to, right? It's at 7:02, if I'm converting military time to...
Well, that's what the timestamp says. I mean, I don't know how it was calibrated and so forth, but according to the screen, it does say 1902 hours, which is 7:02.
7:02 p.m., right?
Correct.
On May 21st, 2016.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Heather, you can take that down, please. Please pull up Exhibit 666.
Yes, what a name, 666. Perfect. Yeah, and this is more credibility to him actually, because the fact
And you
that
see that the timestamp on this video is, well, let's go ahead and play the video first.
well, the fact that he just remembers the incident more than anything, and if his timelines are a little out, that proves there's no conspiring going on. But he's clear about the incident. And that's how I am, to be fair. I don't remember bloody hell, names as well. I'm terrible with names, but actually in the presence of something happening, I recall those things. I might get other things wrong, but being in a situation, I remember those, just like he's doing. At least it's better than the witness
And that's
yesterday.
you on the right again, right?
It is.
And that's Mr. Judge in the middle, right?
Yes.
And that's Mr. Depp on the left,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And the timestamp on this video is 2029 or 8:29 p.m., right?
That's correct.
So you were actually in the Eastern Columbia building for about an hour and a half that evening, right?
Well, according to these timestamps, yes, it does say that. It didn't seem like it was that long.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
redirect.
You have nothing further. Oh, his times were a bit wonky. Big deal. He remembers the incident, though. That proves no conspiring, guys.
Mr. Bett, you previously testified that when you left penthouse 3 and went into penthouse 5, who was inside that penthouse when you entered with Mr. Depp?
Josh Drew, an unknown female, and a little dog.
Was Ms. Pennington inside penthouse 3 when you entered with Mr. Depp?
I'm sorry, you said penthouse 5, didn't you? Am I getting my numbers?
You're right. My apologies. Let
I'm
me start
sorry.
over. Confusing. When you left penthouse 3 and
Mhm.
went into penthouse 5. Let me start over. Try this again.
Okay. Josh Drew, an unknown female, and cute little dog.
Where was Miss Pennington? Was she inside penthouse 3 when you entered? Or penthouse 5 when you entered?
She was not in penthouse 5, no.
Where was the last place you saw Miss Pennington on May 21st?
She was standing next to Miss Heard in penthouse number 3.
I think there's been also a little bit of confusion about April 21st, 2016 and May 21st, 2016. So let's start with April 21st, 2016. What occurred?
Objection just to the Ms. Vasquez testifying.
I'm just trying to orient the witness,
All right,
Your
well,
Honor.
go ahead.
I'll try to
Thank you.
limit that. Where was Mr. Depp on April 21st, 2016?
On April 21st, he was at a meeting in his production office.
Okay. And I believe you testified previously that you saw him holding a glass of wine. Is that right?
Correct.
Did he appear intoxicated to you after that meeting?
He didn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
He did not.
He did not. Okay. Now, on May 21st, 2016, was Mr. Depp drinking wine that day?
He did have wine with him, yes, correct.
And at what point did you observe Mr. Depp with wine on May 21st, 2016?
He probably had it in the car with him when we were driving down. And he could have finished it prior to us walking to penthouse 3.
And did Mr. Depp, based on your observations, Mr. Bett appear intoxicated to you on May 21st, 2016, before he arrived to the Eastern Columbia building?
He didn't.
He did not.
He did not.
Did you ever observe anything that made you concerned for Ms. Heard's safety?
Objection, foundation, and leading.
I'll allow it if you can answer. That's fine.
I did not.
What, if anything, did you observe that made you concerned for Mr. Depp's safety?
From the injuries I saw on his face when on a few occasions I took photos of him.
Nothing further. Thank
All
you,
right.
Your Honor.
Is this witness subject to recall?
No, Your Honor.
All right, not subject to recall, correct? Okay, all right, so you're free to go, or you can have a seat in the courtroom. It's up to you, all right?
Thank you. So
Thank you. You have a good day, sir. All right, your next witness,
Thank you, Your Honor. Plaintiff calls Keenan Wyatt.
Keenan Wyatt. Could you spell that name for me?
Keenan, last name Wyatt, W-A-W.
Okay, well, whilst they're getting this next witness on, we have 2 new amazing channel members. Like, for real new channel members. Haven't had new channel members for ages. But we have Gemstone, who adopted a Fleur. Thank you so much. And we have Bubblegum, who also adopted a Fleur. Thank you so much for joining. Means the world, really. It does. Thank you.
Do we need to feed the flirts and stuff? Like, do we have to take care of them when we?
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to. Yeah, you have to pet them and feed them
Well,
and all
what
kinds
happens
of
if you don't? I've paid no attention to my flirf since I became a member. I've ignored my flirf. I forgot about my flirf. Like,
if you ignore the flurf, the flurf then just carries on its little miserable life. You've got to pull it out of the flurf nonsense. Bring it back to reality.
Okay, sure. Okay, I'll try. I'll try to rescue.
So what was interesting there was that Rotten Bum was trying to confuse the incident of him leaving the meeting with some wine and trying to tie that onto the May the 21st incident.
Because for Rotten Bum, it's all about the alcohol, no matter what. It's all about Johnny just being drunk all the time. He keeps going back to it over and over again, even though testimony has shown that Johnny drunk is still not an aggressive drunk.
And also, so what he was doing then, he was if he could have got away with that, the jury would have been left in a state of mind thinking that Johnny had been drinking all day at the office. He'd come out, he'd been drinking in the car, and then he'd gone in wasted to the apartment. But Johnny's team were onto that. They knew that the witness was confusing the 2 dates, the 21st of May and the 21st of April. And they pulled it back and they said, actually, no, 2 separate incidents. That was that. This was a month before. This is a month after. Also, this Rotten Bum trying to drag up evidence from 2017 and 2019. What the hell? What sort of idiot is that? That had nothing to do, no relevance to this. In fact, you would expect Johnny Depp to be on this spiral after his divorce and everything that happened to him. You would expect him to be spiraling. What an idiot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't understand the defense's case at all.
They don't have a case. We know that. Right. Let's.
Now, who is this?
Guy? Do we know?
Yeah. What was the name? What name did they say?
Oh,
well, we're here.
Good morning, Mr. Wyatt.
Morning.
Would you please state your full name for the record?
Keenan Wyatt,
Mr. Wyatt, where do you live?
Thousand Oaks, California.
What do you do for a living?
Excuse me. I'm a sound technician on feature films.
How long have you been a sound technician on feature films?
Over 35 years.
Would you please briefly describe for the jury what a sound technician on films does?
Well, technically just do the dialogue recording while on the set, so it's as clean as possible.
Do you know Johnny Depp?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Mr. Depp?
I've known Johnny for over 25 years, and we're good friends.
Have you ever worked with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I have.
For how many of Mr. Depp's films have you worked with him as the sound technician?
Dozens of films.
Would you please just name a few of them for the jury if you can remember?
I've done the 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Alice in Wonderland, Rum Diary, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Ninth Gate, Lone Ranger, number of films.
What part did Mr. Depp play in the 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Are you, Mr. Wyatt, are you currently employed by Mr. Depp?
No.
Have you ever been employed by Mr. Depp?
No.
Have you ever been paid by Mr. Depp?
No.
Have you ever worked for any of Mr. Depp's companies?
Yes, I worked for Infinitum Nile.
When was the last time you worked for Infinitum Nile?
Last time I was there was probably 2017. I worked on a contract basis with them, not as an employee.
And would you very briefly describe for the jury what work you did for Infinitum Nile in 2017?
I ran the media library with them, did some archiving, recording, editing, things like that.
How would you describe briefly your working relationship with Mr. Depp in the 25 years or so that you've worked together?
Johnny's great to work with on films. He always comes very prepared and knows what he wants to do and makes it for a fun day when we're shooting.
With what directors have you and Mr. Depp worked together?
Oh, many directors. But we've done several films, multiple films with multiple directors, like Tim Burton, Gore Verbinski, Rob Marshall. We've done multiple films with them.
Why did you and Mr. Depp work with those directors more than once?
Johnny makes it easy to work with.
Foundation.
Your Honor, he's laid the foundation. He's worked with Mr. Depp for 25 years on more than 10 feature films.
And relevance.
No, I'll allow it. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Why did you and Mr. Depp work with those directors more than once?
Well, the directors like working for him. He comes
Objection,
with.
hearsay, move to strike.
Your Honor, you just allowed the question.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Johnny makes it easy to work with. He comes prepared. He knows what he wants to do with the characters, and he collaborates very well with the directors.
Is Pirates 5 one of the feature films on which you worked together with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
Was Mr. Depp ever late to the set on Pirates 5?
Yes.
Do you know why Mr. Depp was late on those occasions?
Well, arguing going on between him and Amber.
Objection, hearsay,
I'll
foundation.
sustain the objection.
Strike that. Did you communicate with crew members on the set of Pirates 5?
Every day, yes.
Was Mr. Depp's lateness a problem for the crew?
Objection calls for hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain as to what the crew may have told him.
Well, I was just asking the threshold question of whether he had spoken with the crew.
You're right. I'll sustain the objection.
Putting aside occasional lateness on the set of Pirates 5, was production of Pirates 5 ever suspended for any period of time?
Objection calls for hearsay, foundation. How would he know that?
No, if you can ask how he knew it, you've only laid the foundation. That's right.
How did you know whether production of Pirates 5 was ever suspended?
I was on the film. I was working on the film, so
Okay.
I know it was suspended probably for 2 or 3 weeks.
And why was it suspended for 2 or 3 weeks?
Johnny had to go back to Los Angeles because his finger had been cut off. Tip of his finger had been cut off.
Do you have any understanding of how the top of Mr. Depp's finger was cut off?
All right.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
And I believe you testified that production was suspended for a period of 2 or 3 weeks. Did there come a time when Mr. Depp returned from Los Angeles to Australia for completion of the shooting of Pirates 5?
Yes, he did.
Who is Sean Bailey?
He's an executive at Disney.
After Mr. Depp returned to the set of Pirates 5 in Australia, what, if any, interactions did you observe between Mr. Depp and Mr. Daly?
Sean had come to set one day and sat and talked with Johnny for a while, and they talked about collaborating and doing some stuff in the future.
Was it a friendly conversation?
Absolutely, yes.
Has Mr. Depp ever worn an earpiece in any of the many movies in which you've worked with him?
Yes.
For what purpose are earpieces generally used by actors on sets?
Well, I've worked
Objection,
with.
Your Honor. First of all, relevance, foundation,
What's the relevance?
hearsay.
May we approach, Your Honor?
Okay, sure.
They know what's coming up. They know what's coming, so they want to strike this out before it
Yep.
even gets heard by the jury. Yeah, because they know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
They know where it's going. We'll get to see now whether or not whose side the judge is really on, because after the stunt that Amber Heard's team pulled over the weekend, we shall see whether this is a bit of payback. Because if she allows this, which she should do anyway, she should allow this. This is a reasonable line of questioning, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think she should be on the side of fairness. You know.
Mr. Wyatt, has Mr. Depp ever worn an earpiece in any of the movies in which you've worked with him?
Objection leading?
I'll allow it.
And he already answered it anyway, but.
That's okay. I'll allow it.
She was objecting to something that he'd already answered. What a dickhead Elaine is.
When was the first time you used an earpiece with Mr. Depp?
First time we used it was on a movie he was directing called The Brave. We were doing a scene with Marlon Brando, who wears an earpiece for receiving his dialogue.
Objection.
I'll allow it. That's fine. Go ahead.
What's she objecting to?
Marlon uses an earpiece for his dialogue, and it was a long shooting day, and we let Johnny, as the director, let Marlon go after we shot Marlon's section of the film, and then for Johnny's character to act against something other than just a blank nothing, we put Marlon's performance in an earpiece into Johnny so he could act up against Marlon's performance.
Did Mr. Depp ever use an earpiece for some other purpose other than listening to Mr. Brando's dialogue?
After that, we started using an earpiece all the time where Johnny would listen to music while acting. We would play all different kinds of music depending on the character he was playing. He and I would talk about it beforehand, and sometimes it'd be classical, sometimes it'd be rock, sometimes it would be blues. It depended on the character.
To what extent, if any, did you and Mr. Depp use that process in other movies on which you worked together?
We used that on every movie.
Mr. Wyatt, on those occasions, in addition to feeding Mr. Depp music, did you ever read lines to him?
Yes.
Why did you read lines to Mr. Depp?
Johnny typically likes to go into makeup in the morning and write his own dialogue and rewrite his dialogue. So sometimes there's not enough time to always to remember the lines and learn them. So I would remind him in his ear sometimes while music was playing at the same time.
And Mr. Wyatt, in your long experience working with Mr. Depp on films, how would you describe his level of preparedness on the set?
He's absolutely prepared. He knows what he wants the character to be. He collaborates with the director on what his ideas are, but he always comes very prepared.
And Mr. Wyatt, during your long relationship with Mr. Depp, what, if any, opportunity have you had to observe his sense of humor?
Quite often.
How would you describe to the jury Mr. Depp's sense of humor?
He likes like a British humor. He's sometimes a little dark, maybe. He likes plays on words, that sort of thing.
Monty Python?
Monty Python. There's a show in England called The Fast Show, which he used to love watching.
Mr. Wyatt, what, if any, relationship do you have with Mr. Depp outside of your working relationship?
We're close. I used to, after a film, sometimes he'd call and I would go on vacation with he and his family.
On what occasions would you go on vacation with Mr. Depp and his family?
He would call after a film, and he would be going away with the kids and Vanessa, and he would say, "Hey, we're going to the island. Would you come with me?" and stuff. Or we're going to France. Would you come along? And sure, why not?
Would you please give the jury Vanessa's full name?
Vanessa Paradis.
And would you please tell the jury who she is?
She is the mother of Johnny's two kids, Jack and Lily Rose.
And Mr. Wyatt, on how many occasions, if you can recall, did you accompany Mr. Depp, Ms. Paradis, and Johnny's two children on vacation?
Several times.
On those several occasions where you accompanied them on vacation, did you ever observe Mr. Depp and Vanessa interact with each other?
Sure. Yes.
Would you please tell the jury what you observed?
They were a loving couple and everything was fine. Yeah, it was a family.
Did you ever hear or see Mr. Depp yell or raise his voice at Vanessa Paradis, the mother of his children?
Not that I recall.
Did you ever, on any occasion, see Mr. Depp physically abuse Vanessa?
Never.
And I believe you testified, Mr. Wyatt, that Mr. Depp's and Ms. Paradis' children, Lily Rose and Jack, were there on those vacations. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to observe Mr. Depp's interactions with his children?
Sure. Yes.
Would you please describe for the jury very briefly Mr. Depp's interactions with his children, Jack and Lily Rose?
He was a very loving father. He used to do stuff with the kids all the time, going swimming at the island and teaching them scuba diving and, just drawing, a lot of drawing, doing artwork.
Did he ever yell or raise his voice at his children?
Not that I recall. Nothing that stands out, no.
Mr. Wyatt, on what, if any, occasions have you seen Mr. Depp drink alcohol?
Oh, we drink alcohol quite often.
And on those occasions in which you had alcohol with Mr. Depp, how, if at all, did his behavior change?
I don't remember it changing at all. I don't remember him changing.
It didn't make him angry?
No. Sleepy.
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp use drugs?
I've seen him take pills. Don't know what they were. I wouldn't know what they were, but that's all.
Based on your observations, when you have seen him taking pills, how, if at all, did the taking of pills affect his behavior?
I didn't see any change in Johnny. I don't recall anything changing.
Mr. Wyatt, do you know the defendant in this case, Ms. Amber Heard?
Yes.
When did you first meet Ms. Heard?
On the set of Rum Diary.
On how many occasions, if at all, did you see Ms. Heard after that?
Several times.
Would you please describe for the jury very briefly your relationship with Ms. Heard after you saw her the first few times?
I mean, I don't really have a relationship with her. We didn't sit and talk. I didn't hang out with her or anything like that.
Did there come a time when you became aware that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were romantically involved?
Yes.
How often did you see Mr. Depp after he started the romantic relationship with Ms. Heard?
Oh, I don't recall. I didn't see him that often, but I don't recall how often, but I didn't see him that much.
How often were you together? Strike that. How often did you interact with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard when the two of them were together?
Just only occasionally did I see him. I mean, I would leave him alone, let him have his time with Amber. I wasn't into interfering.
And on those occasions where you interacted with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard as a couple, did you ever hear Mr. Depp yell at or raise his voice to Ms. Heard?
No.
On what occasions, if any, did he ever raise his hand to or otherwise abuse Ms. Heard?
I've never seen him be violent towards anybody.
And if we could, did there come a, switch gears here, did there come a time in May 2014 when you traveled with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard by private plane from Boston to Los Angeles?
Yes.
Who else was on that Boston plane flight?
It was Amber and Johnny, Stephen, Savannah, and Jerry Judge and myself.
And would you please tell the jury who is Stephen?
Stephen Duders is Johnny's assistant.
Who is Savannah?
Savannah was Amber's assistant.
And I think the jury has heard the name Jerry Judge, but if you could please explain to the jury again who Jerry Judge is.
Jerry Judge is Johnny's security.
Mr. Wyatt, why were you on that flight that night?
I don't know the exact circumstances of that flight. I didn't travel with the two of them that often. I was probably headed back to Los Angeles to see my daughter.
And before you got on the flight, how did you arrive at the airport that night?
We came in a car.
When you say you came in the car, with whom did you come in the car?
It was Jerry, Stephen, Nathan, Johnny, and myself.
And who is Nathan?
Nathan is Johnny's other assistant, Nathan Holmes.
What, if any, alcohol or drugs did you see Mr. Depp take while on the car ride to the airport?
On the car ride, I don't recall anything being taken. Johnny, I know, had called Jack during the car ride to talk to him, to tell him we were on our way. And we were listening to the World Cup that was going on at the time.
And if you could just remind the jury who Jack is?
Jack is Johnny's little boy.
When you and Mr. Depp and the security personnel arrived at the plane, who, if anyone, was there at the plane?
The plane had come from New York with Amber and Savannah already on it.
What, if anything, did you observe about Ms. Heard's behavior on that Boston flight?
Well, she was giving Johnny the cold shoulder, being quiet, and seemed pouty.
What, if any, conversation did you have with Ms. Heard on the flight?
At one point, I went up to her and said something to the effect of, he cares about you. And all of a sudden, she snapped and started yelling at me, "How dare you talk to me? Get away from me." So I went back to a seat and minded my own business.
When she said those things to you, would you describe the tone of her voice if you remember it?
She was abruptly loud. It was a quiet plane. All of a sudden, it got very loud.
And I believe you testified you went back to your seat, or you moved. What happened next?
Johnny had said something to her like, "Don't talk to my friend that way." And I just stayed in my seat and finished the rest of the flight.
And after you went back to your seat, to what extent, if any, were you able to see Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard?
I was able to see them very clearly.
What, if any, violence or physical altercation did you observe between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard once you'd gone back to your seat?
I've never seen Johnny be violent towards anybody.
To what extent, if any, did you observe Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard hit, kick, or throw anything at each other on the plane?
No, I don't recall that at all.
Mr. Wyatt, was Mr. Depp consuming any alcohol on that flight?
Sure, yes.
Did he seem intoxicated?
Seem intoxicated? No, he seemed like Johnny. No, he seemed normal.
Did there come a time, Mr. Wyatt, when you learned that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were getting married to each other?
Yes.
How did you find out about that there would be a wedding?
I was at the Infinitum office, and Christy came to me and said, "Hey,
I'm just asking, it's not for the proof, I'm just asking him how he found out about the wedding."
All right, what's the relevance?
May we approach, Your Honor?
Okay.
So the last time they approached the bench, Johnny's team won. Elaine's tried to stand up twice and say objection, and the judge has gone,
right.
"Fuck off, sit yourself down, dear." So they haven't objected now for the past 10 minutes. I think they know that the judge really isn't on their side. Tough cookies, Elaine. Tough cookies, Elaine. You had that Eve Barlow in your front row. I think they won that though.
He's doing really well. I'm really pleased with this testimony.
Mr. Wyatt, did you end up attending the wedding?
yes, I did."
Where was that? Where did the wedding take place?
There's two weddings, one at Betty Sue's house, Johnny's mom's house, and then another one on the island. The one on the island I did not attend.
What, if anything, did you observe at the Los Angeles ceremony that you attended at Betty Sue,
Betty
Mr.
Sue's
Depp's mother's house?
It was all very quick. I mean, we all found out about it at the last moment. There was a bit of confusion. Johnny had a friend from out of town and she wasn't sure what was going on. Little Jack didn't understand what was going on.
I'll sustain as other people. Go ahead.
What, if anything, did you observe about Ms. Heard's demeanor at the ceremony?
She was very happy-go-lucky. She was all dressed up. All of her friends were nicely dressed up and ready for a wedding.
Have you ever, in the course of your interactions with Ms. Heard, ever seen any marks, injuries, or bruises on her?
I have not, no.
During the decades that you have known Mr. Depp, to what extent, if any, are you aware of any woman other than Ms. Heard accusing him of abuse?
I'll allow it.
I've never seen Johnny abuse anybody, ever.
Thank
Thank you very much, Mr. Wyatt. That's all I have right now.
Elaine got shut down again.
All right, let's go ahead and take our morning break for 15 minutes.
Wow, this guy's great.
Oh, this is great. This
Objection.
is excellent.
Foundation.
Read.
Did you hear? Did you hear it? I'll allow it. Elaine stood up.
Yeah.
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 Elaine.
I object that it should be known that he's never attacked any other women in the past. I object to this line
I
of
object.
questioning.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I object to you destroying our foundation case of him being abused. I object. The past can't be let in.
The thing is that Elaine is objecting when she shouldn't be objecting because these are just reasonable questions and the judge is just massacring her. And this is all paid by a lot of things that are going on now. We're seeing a little bit more favoritism, I believe, from Judge Penny towards Johnny Depp's team because of the underhand tactics that Amber's team used. They shouldn't have done what they did.
Oh, Bubblegum, you missed. He got to say that Johnny never abused anyone in his presence. Ever.
I can rewind it so you can listen if you want.
Yeah.
I can go back a bit. Here we go.
I'm just asking, it's not for the proof. I'm just asking him how he found out about the wedding.
All right, what's the relevance?
May we approach, Your Honor?
Okay.
Mr. Wyatt, did you end up attending the wedding?
Yes, I did.
Where was that? Where did the wedding take place?
There's two weddings, one at Betty Sue's house, Johnny's mom's house, and then another one on the island. The one on the island I did not attend.
What, if anything, did you observe at the Los Angeles ceremony that you attended at Betty Sue,
Betty
Mr.
Sue's
Depp's mother's house?
It was all very quick. I mean, we all found out about it at the last moment. There was a bit of confusion. Johnny had a friend from out of town and she wasn't sure what was going on. Little Jack didn't understand what was going on.
I'll sustain as other people. Go ahead.
What, if anything, did you observe about Ms. Heard's demeanor at the ceremony?
She was very happy-go-lucky. She was all dressed up. All of her friends were nicely dressed up and ready for a wedding.
Have you ever, in the course of your interactions with Ms. Heard, ever seen any marks, injuries, or bruises on her?
I have not, no.
During the decades that you have known Mr. Depp, to what extent, if any, are you aware of any woman other than Ms. Heard accusing him of abuse?
I'll allow it.
I've never seen Johnny abuse anybody, ever.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wyatt. That's all I have right now.
She objected with a foundation and hearsay. Foundation, hearsay. What do you think?
Wait, but he was only, it's not hearsay because it's directly what he was involved. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
She is so bad. She is so bad.
I bet your rotten bum is over there cringing.
Oh, this is hilarious. Elaine is so out of her depth. She just wants any question that she knows is going to be devastating for her argument. She'll just object to and throw anything out that, objection, hearsay, foundation,
Yeah, she's trying to do her job, though. I mean, she's just like, they don't want certain things in, and I guess, she's going to do what she can to keep, certain things out the best.
I tell you what, I noticed something there. Something. Right. Tell me if I've just imagined this, guys. But look at the Judge Penny. She's smiling at Johnny Depp like she's in love with him. And then she turns to the jury and she dismisses them. And then she looks back at Amber Heard with dagger eyes. I promise you I didn't make that up.
No.
I promise you I did not make that up.
Oh, I don't want to think the judge is partial. No.
Just watch. Yeah. This is just my impression that I saw then. Right, here we go.
Okay.
So watch what she's doing. Look where her eyes are. She's looking at Johnny Depp. She's smiling. Now she's looking at the witness. Wait a minute.
That wasn't the look of love.
Just a minute. Just watch. Now she's looking at Amber. Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Listen, I'm pretty sure she was looking at Amber's attorneys and not Amber and saying, because I could see that, but no.
That was swooning eyes. That was swooning eyes.
That was it. Randy, no. No, I'm going to stick with the judges being impartial.
Swooning eyes. That's swooning. I'm telling you. Swooning eyes. Oh, look, she's looking directly at Johnny now.
It's barely a smile. Come on.
Yeah, but watch what she does when she looks at Amber. I'm going to put this on slow when she turns. Watch this. I'm sure I noticed these things. Watch her face. Okay. But hard eyes. Yeah. You can go.
That's directly towards the attorneys. That is not to Amber. She's just like, Elaine, get out of my face. Yeah, I would believe it about Elaine, but Randy, you're funny. That's reaching. You're reaching almost as much as Rottenbaum there. Like you've been practicing, you've been taking notes from Rottenbaum with the big reach there.
I know.
I know, but it is fun. It's all in good fun. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So we're on a 15-minute break, which is probably likely 10 minutes now. So I like this witness, I have to say. I think he's much like Isaac. He's very easy to get along with, very relatable. I'm not being funny, but the security guy was a little bit too rigid and one-sided. But I'm getting a good feel from this guy. I think he's being very open. I don't think he's he's recalling things as he remembers it. And he's very definitive. You never saw him arguing with Vanessa Paradis. And he's never saw any bruises on her, and he's never seen him be violent with anybody. This is consistent with what we know.
Yes, Intrigue, it is back to live. We're on the break now, and it is up to date, and we're back to live. And she wanted to know if we were still on the rewind, but it is current.
Oh, yeah, it's current. Yeah, I mean, I can just fast forward it
first a little bit. It's just a few minutes.
Well, I've already got it on fast forward anyway. It's on double speed just to catch up. But yeah, it's about 8 minutes left yet. So, so I believe that was a good witness, and I think he'll be good under cross-examination. I don't think he's going to trip up.
I don't. He seems solid. He seemed very secure in his statements. He was. You could see he was being thoughtful as the words were coming out. He was really thinking about what he said. And it was a good witness. And
he definitely recalls being screamed at and shouted at by an absurd Amber Heard.
Yeah, the memories, huh? Well, he's confident. Yeah, he's solid.
That's her face currently.
Yeah, she's not happy.
Yeah, she's definitely not happy. She's upset. I think later on we're going to have, maybe some of this.
I know, Jim. Don't do that before lunch. Like, just don't do that.
We still need a title. We still need a title, though.
Yes, the caption. They were asking, like, who's going to win the captions from yesterday on this one, right? I put mine out on Twitter yesterday, like when you first put it out on Twitter yesterday early.
Amber Heard, did you smell it? Did you deal it? Did you deal it? I didn't do it. Oops,
If
it was
if
me.
you
Johnny, it
smelt
was
it,
me.
you dealt it. If you smelt it, you dealt it. Is that what the kids say? You know, like if you smelt it, you dealt it. It must have been Amber's then.
If you smell it.
You dealt
So,
it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, she doesn't look great. She doesn't look very healthy, that woman in the middle, I have to say.
No,
Looks a bit skinny.
she just appears to be an angry person in general. Like how tight her body is all the time, and the way she moves and the way she expresses herself. She just seems to be an angry person.
What do you think of the hairstyle?
I think she's a freak. I'm really concerned for Johnny. I think this is stalking. Like this is harassment. Like I can't believe she did. This is total like oh my god, Fatal Attraction, the movie, you know, the bunny boiler. Like this is getting a little weird. You know.
So for those that are keeping up to date with what Amber Heard is doing after Johnny Depp appears at trial, it seems that she's copying him at every step of the way. It seems that well, obviously Johnny had his hair back yesterday, and Amber turns up today with her hair in a ponytail as well.
Yep. Yeah, and he had that lightish color shirt, I believe, yesterday, didn't he? I think I used a picture of him yesterday in my promo today. Let me see.
Yeah, have a look, see what he was wearing yesterday. But yeah, she needs to wear a bra though, I think. Yeah. And not going well for her, I don't think. I think Johnny's on after this, isn't he? I think after this witness, it's Johnny.
I don't know. Like I wish they would let us know the witness list, but I don't know where to find it. If somebody else knows where to find it, let me know. I would definitely like to
I think it'd be a good time for him to come on after this witness, because this witness is obviously putting everyone at ease. He's relaxed. In my opinion, at least, the whole atmosphere in the room, if I was in there, you could imagine the room's probably a little more settled, comfortable, not on edge anymore. It's a bit easier going. So he's already relaxed the room, you know, like you warm an audience up, and you know, I think that's the same sort of thing. He's probably, you know, relaxed the audience.
Yes, me, I agree. I remember a lighter colored shirt and a dark suit, and then the hair pulled back. I'm just looking at the picture now. Yep, she's copying him with that lighter shirt. Yeah.
Can you send me an image of that? I'd like to pop that up or do a side by side.
All right, hold on. Let me see what I got here. You know,
you can Twitter at me or whatever.
Yeah, I got a thing. I got a thumbnail I can do. Just I did the thumbnail for it. It has this picture on it.
Can we get some Amica cream in the chat, guys? I want to see it. I want to see some Amica. And some justice for Johnny Depp's as well. I think we got that as well. That looks pretty cool on screen actually when you post those. Justice for Johnny Depp's as well. Let us know when you send in that over.
Yep, I'm over on Twitter and I'm in my Chromebook right now getting it because I had to pull that picture real quick. So it's a PNG, and that's what he wore yesterday. And I think the reason she's got that flowery tie is she couldn't match the gorgeous tie he had on yesterday. He had a billowing type tie.
Holy fuck, she has as well, and she's got like a crevasse on, like his tie that was yesterday.
Yes. You see what I mean?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was the one I used for the promo, the little 9-second promo. You know, I do the shorts for our stream for you in the morning. Yeah. Well, it rubs the hammock on it, scream, and it gets the hose again. Oh god, from that movie. I know she's a bit weird. If she she's weird. Mocking, don't you agree? She's like stalkerish, like the bunny bullet, like Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction. Or what is that other movie where the roommate goes in there and just takes over the girl's life, takes over Bridget Fonda's life? What's that one? Like she's starting to give me like those kind of vibes.
I'm just putting this together, guys. It'll be up in around about 1 minute's time when I've.
But you see what I mean about the billowy tie? I think that's what she's trying to mimic with these, like, you know, Bowie crafty things she's got going around her neck and everything. And obviously she's not wearing a bra, just like, you know, Johnny. She had to. Well,
This is scary. It has to be said. It's not. It wasn't just the hairstyle either.
It's starting to creep me out. Like we could follow every day of the trial. We're going to be able to do this every day. Johnny wears this, and the next day Amber wears this. This is getting like
This is insanity. Insanity. Right. Let me pop this up for you guys to see. Let me get this.
No.
added
Oh,
on.
thank you, Mia. What video is that?
Right. Here we go, guys. It's just about to pop up right now.
She's
Look at
definitely
that.
his. I would love to see what she would do if he came as Jack Sparrow. Yes. Oh, that's it. Yes. Thank you, Mocking. It is single white female. Yes. And thank you, Mia. You know, Alice, I agree. What is she going to do if he starts wearing that? Like, Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is scary. I mean, hair pulled back into a ponytail, a lightish bluish. It's bluish green on both.
Yes.
Crevasse type of tie, along with a black
suit.
Black suit, yeah. Has she
Yes,
got an earring
Johnny.
in? Is she copying his earring as well?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, it's a loop. It is.
It's looped earrings, the same as Johnny Depp's.
She's a freak. I don't care. Amber is a freak, people. That's it. She's a freak. That's it. Like, true MG, I agree. She's mimicking him. She previously yelled he has no style, he's fat, he's ugly, all this stuff. And now she's kind of being very contradictory. She's kind of flattery. They say mimicking, copying is flattery. But
Okay.
I think it's freaky. I think she's stalking him. I think it's some type of harassment. Like, this is harassment.
So
she's trying to
obviously,
unnerve him.
my co-host here, Claire, and myself would agree that she is doing this. Now, we are obviously very biased towards JD, so we're trying to look for the, trying to make her look a little bit worse than she maybe is, but maybe we're seeing into that. Maybe we're getting this wrong. So I would like to ask the chat, have we seen too much in this? Are we making it up? Are we just seeing things that aren't really there? Is she just turning up and just randomly looking like this? Press 1 if you think she's copying JD, and press 2 if we're completely off our rockers and getting it all mixed up.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If we are, all of Twitter's with us.
Because maybe my bias is taking over, and that's the problem.
I don't think so. She's trolling the hell out of this man. Come on. I don't know. Either that or she's just Beaver. I told you about that number. Stop it, girl. Stop it. Yeah.
Well, there's lots of 1s in the chat, so I haven't seen a 2 as yet.
Well, Martin gave us a 1.5. We might be pushing it a little much. But I agree with you, Martin. We do go a little far. But actually...
But it wouldn't be too bad if this was just the only instance of this. The problem is
it's been since day 2, right? Yeah,
every
since
day,
day 2. Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We just got a super chat.
I know Charlie. Oh, he said this before, and I was laughing.
JD should call her copycat bluff and shave his head tonight. Oh my!
I really hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. But I would like to see him in a Jack Sparrow wig. One day. I doubt he could wear that to court though. But like maybe the eyeliner. See if she'll do it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Please don't shave your head. Don't listen to him, Johnny. Don't listen to Charlie. I mean, we would definitely call her bluff because she ain't gonna do that. She might wear a skin hat though, like one of those things that makes you look like you're bald. Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is obviously going to be a hot topic of conversation as the trial goes on. Now, are women more likely to notice this on the jury or men? What do you think?
I think it's so blatant, you can't avoid it. I think every man in this chat has noticed it. Everybody on Twitter has noticed it that I saw, that's tweeting about it. Now, everyone in my circle has noticed it and commented on it. I think it's blatant and obvious, biased or not. I mean, she's a freak. I'm sorry. Amber's a freak. Like, this is weird. This is very weird. Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of time to go for sure in this trial. We're going to hear an awful lot. I think. Oh, wait a minute. I've got to put that on screen. That's pretty cool. I believe wholeheartedly that when Amber gets the opportunity to stand on, and get cross-examined, I don't think she can do it. I don't think they can put her on the stand. I'm sorry. I think there's too much going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that she would be able to win over the jury like JD is clearly going to, because he's just going to speak the truth, right? It's harder to lie. That's the thing. It's harder to lie, and unless she can't lie. We've seen her depositions. We know what she's good at, and we know what she's bad at. So, we shall see. I think we're due back now, aren't we? Anytime now? Just checked in. Still not back in the court as yet, but we should be any second now. Yeah, I like this guy.
I've been correct. I've been corrected in the chat. They said they're really not worried, but calling Amber a freak is kind of insulting to all the other freaks. I never thought of that. Sorry, freaks, but Amber's a freak. I mean, she's special. She's a special kind of freak.
Oh.
It's freaky.
Now we're back.
Are we back?
Now,
Okay.
now we're back. Oh, talking, they're discussing. What are they discussing? Don't know. Obviously, Elaine's trying again. I object to that line of questioning.
I object to you not listening to my objections and not allowing my objections. I object.
Can we get some objections in the chat? Let's get some objections out there. Can we predict how many objections there's going to be? Oh, mind you, it's cross-examination now. There probably won't be that much objecting. But I'll guarantee when Johnny gets up, they will be objecting to pretty much everything.
All right, we're ready for the jury. Okay. Okay, yes.
Objection!
Object. Thank you, Jingo.
I do not recall. Objection. Objection. I effing object. Oh, here we go. This will be a good one. Objection. The reason her name is Amber is because she's a pretty jewel on the outside, but inside there's a nasty, ugly insect. He's not a freak. She's a mosquito. Arcanis, you've got a deep hatred there. I can detect that. Objection, I can't talk. Objection all the way. Like it. Oh, trust Beaver's unit to put that up. 69 objections, I'm counting. Objection. You cannot handle the truth. I object to recalls.
All right. All right, cross-examination.
All right, here we go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. White, you testified that you've been a sound technician for pretty much most of your career, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let's go to that Marlon Brando. That he used an earpiece for his lines to be fed to him, correct, at that
Yes.
time? And when was that? When was the Brave film?
Mid-90s.
Okay. And so ever since then, Mr. Depp has thought it was a good idea and has used an earpiece, correct?
He is used in your piece, yes.
Okay. And you're the person who controls what goes into his earpiece, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. So it could be music, it can be lines, it can be
Yes.
anything, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you have been his sound technician since the 1990s, all the way up through at least 2016, correct?
There's been a couple of us, yes.
Okay, but you actually have been on almost all his movies, haven't
Been
you?
on most of them, probably.
Okay, and
yes.
in fact, not only are you his personal sound technician, but you are named in his contracts as his sound technician, correct?
I don't know that.
Okay, well, let's pull up exhibit number, let's go to 633. And I'm going to show you what has been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 633, and it's the contract for Pirates of the Caribbean from August 2022. Do you see that?
Objection, lack of
August.
foundation.
I'm sorry?
Lack of foundation.
I didn't get his answer.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
I see it. It says August 2002.
Let's turn to page 16. Actually, the one before that. It's two before that, I think. There we go. Do you see where it says location assistant?
Yes.
Okay. And if you go down, it has your name specifically on there. Does it not say Keenan Wyatt?
Yes.
Okay. And on this
Along-
particular one, it has Sam Sarker and Keenan Wyatt. Do you see that?
Yes.
But eventually it just became Keenan Wyatt in all the contracts, right?
I do not know. I don't know.
Okay. And then as part of this, in each of Mr. Depp's contracts, he had what you were going to get paid, correct?
I don't know what's in his contract.
Okay. Well, on this one, it was $14.28 per hour, correct?
Lack of foundation, Your Honor.
All right. Well, he doesn't know this contract. If you want to frame
Okay.
it, it's a different question.
Well, you, on every one of his contracts, had an hourly rate and a guarantee of at least 60 hours a week, right?
Calls for speculation, lack of foundation.
Surely he has to know how he was getting paid on
If
these.
you want to ask that question.
Do you know how you were getting paid on each of these films?
Yes.
Okay.
I
And-
get paid through a payroll company from the production companies.
Okay. And these were all negotiated by Mr. Depp, correct?
No, I'm,
Or his
I'm
company.
paid by the union sets the rate for me.
Right. But you're aware that Mr. Depp has negotiated it and put you into his contract.
Lack of foundation calls for
I
speculation.
can,
I'll allow that answer if you can answer it.
Sorry.
You want to ask
you're
the
aware.
question again? Okay.
You're aware that Mr. Depp has put you into each of his contracts, including how much you get paid and all of your perks, right?
I see it here, but when I'm hired by a production company, I get paid by the production company at my union rate for the job that I'm doing. That's not the rate I make when I'm working on a production.
Okay. All right. Well, let's stay on this one just for a minute, and then we'll take a look at a couple more because you ended up with a lot higher rate pretty soon. But you also had your airfare paid for, correct? For travel.
Yes.
You also were put up in the same hotel as Mr. Depp if he was in a hotel, correct?
Not necessarily all the time.
Right. And if he was in a house, then you got a comparable hotel close by, right?
I got a place to stay wherever we were filming. Yes.
And it was comparable.
Comparable to
It
Johnny's?
was,
No.
it was a positive, it was a nice hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, productions, we usually stayed at nice hotels.
Okay. So is it your testimony that you didn't know that you were named specifically and the terms of your compensation and your benefits were in every single one of Mr. Depp's contracts?
Objection
I
asked
didn't-
and answered several times, Your Honor.
It has not, and
I'll allow it this
I did not know it was in
Okay.
the contract.
Next question.
okay. Let's go take a look real quick. I'm gonna flip over to 855.
They're trying to say he's an employee of Johnny Depp. Or link it to him having a financial interest in
And this is
supporting JD.
contract December
Like they
4th,
do all the
2008
witnesses, bias,
with
monetary
Paramount
bias.
Pictures for Rango. Do you recall that?
Yes,
And you were his sound technician there, correct?
yes.
And if we turn to page 12, which is the second one, if you look down there, your name is right there. You're designated as sound technician, correct? Do you see that?
Yes,
All right, and then let's flip to the next page. And that has 3,500 per week, correct?
Lack of foundation.
Do you remember getting $3,500 a week?
I get whatever the weekly rate is for the union position that I'm doing. I don't know, at this time, I don't recall what the rate was. I don't know if that's what I got or not, but I got what the union set as my minimum rate.
Okay, and again, you didn't know that Mr. Depp negotiated this into his
No.
contract? Okay, and then if we go down a little bit further here, it has you round trip coach class transportation. You see that?
Yes,
And then it has hotel accommodations and per diem on the same basis as the crew of the picture on this one, correct?
yes, but Rango was in Los Angeles, so none of that would have taken
Right, so,
place.
so
Yeah.
it was a lot easier. Then let's jump to Plaintiff's Exhibit 842. And this is Pirates of the Caribbean, July 2014. This would be for 5, right?
Your Honor, lack of foundation, these are contracts to which
Right.
Mr. Wyatt was not a party.
Your Honor, it's not offered to prove the truth of the contract. It's,
And what is it offered for?
What's,
all right, well, let me ask it this way. For Pirates 5, you were in, what was your hotel accommodations?
I was staying in a condominium that the rest of the crew was staying in.
Okay, and how much were you getting paid on Pirates 5?
Whatever the union minimum was for my job.
Do you have any idea what it was?
No, I don't recall.
Okay,
I'd have to
And-
look it up.
and were you aware that your compensation and benefits were in Mr. Depp's Pirates contract?
No, I did not.
All right. Now, let's go to Pirates 5 in particular. I think you testified that Mr. Depp was he occasionally late a lot to the set?
I don't recall. I mean, he was late, yes.
There were days he didn't show up at all, weren't there?
Could have been, I don't recall.
And there were days that he didn't show up for 6-7 hours, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And in fact, he wasn't showing up before Amber ever got to Australia. Isn't that correct?
I don't know that.
Do you recall him going on a binge with Marilyn Manson for a few days?
Objection,
I-
lack of foundation.
Do you don't
I'll allow
recall
it.
that? I'm sorry, do you recall?
No, I don't recall.
You don't recall one way or the other, or you just?
No, I didn't visit Johnny when we were in Australia. I don't know.
Okay, so you
He
don't
had a
know-
house, I had a condominium in town.
So you don't know what was causing Johnny to be late or whether he was taking a lot of alcohol and drugs?
No.
Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Okay. And you said that you observed Johnny Depp talking with Sean Bailey after he came back. And let's go to that. You said there was a 2 to 3 week delay. In fact, it was closer to 5 to 6 weeks, wasn't it?
I don't recall what it was.
It's pretty
I flew-
significant when the entire crew has to stop for that period of
The
time. isn't
crew-
it?
Objection to Ms. Redehoff's testimony.
all right, I'll sustain the objection and ask the question.
It's pretty significant, isn't it, when there's a delay?
It's significant. I don't think the film completely shut down for all of that. They continued to shoot what they could.
How many of the crew members were impacted by Johnny not being able to be there after he cut off, after the finger was cut off?
Well, there was the crew, some of the crew, I'm sure, still kept working and filming other scenes without Johnny's character in it.
Do you know how many were impacted?
No, I don't.
Do you know how much Disney was impacted?
I don't.
Okay, so now you say when he came back, he collaborated with Sean Bailey, right?
Yes,
And they were talking about how they were going to get together on something, right?
yes.
Did Johnny do anything with Sean Bailey for the rest of 2015?
I don't know about that year, but I know that they talked about collaborating and doing something. Sean and Johnny had worked out, Johnny working at.
Mr. Wyatt, if you can just answer my
Your
question.
Honor, may the witness
No,
please,
no.
she asked the question.
I
He
asked,
should be
did
able,
he collaborate in 2015?
Your Honor, may he be allowed to
Yes,
please
let him,
finish
let him
his
finish the
answer?
question, answer. Sorry, go ahead.
Johnny and Sean put together Johnny dressing up as Captain Jack and addressing the crowd at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike and ask you to ask that to be stricken. That is not responsive to my question.
Your Honor, she asked him the question. Should she?
That's not the question she asked him. You want to ask your question again? please?
Yes. Did Mr. Bailey collaborate on any projects with Mr. Depp in 2015 after Pirates 5?
The one I just said, the project that was a promotional project for
Was it a
Pirates of
film?
the Caribbean. Was it filmed?
Yeah.
I think it was videotaped or filmed, yes.
Was it a feature film that
No,
Disney
it wasn't a
made money
feature
on?
film.
No, all right. Let's go to 2016. Did Sean Bailey collaborate on
I
any
don't
film
know.
project with Mr. Depp?
I don't know.
Let's go to 2017.
I don't
Did
know.
Mr. Bailey collaborate with Mr. Depp on any film project?
I don't know the timing of the other things. No, I don't know if he did or not.
Let's go to 2018. Did Mr. Bailey collaborate at all with Mr. Depp in 2018?
I don't know.
Were you aware that Mr. Bailey said that Mr. Depp was, quote, out, end of quote, for Pirate 6 in
Objection,
October of 2018?
hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain as to hearsay.
Okay,
Next.
let's pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 115.
You said plaintiffs 115?
Plaintiff's 115. Oh, defendants, I'm sorry. It's defendants.
115.
I wish she'd get it right. She's screwing up all the time, isn't she, this Elaine? It's terrible.
Now, this is an article in October of 2018. Do you recall seeing this article?
No,
You never saw it?
I don't read
Okay.
I don't read these
All right, so-
stories and stuff like that.
So would it be fair to say that you don't know whether Mr. Bailey had determined that Mr. Depp would not be in Pirate 6 as of October of 2018?
Yeah, I don't know, especially based on this. I don't believe this stuff anyway.
Okay, we can take that down. Thank you. All right, let's talk about your visits with Vanessa and the kids and Mr. Depp. You indicated you went on some vacations with them, correct?
Yes,
They were together for 14 years, right?
yes.
How many vacations did you go on with them?
Several. I don't know all of them.
2, 3,
Probably more than that.
4?
Probably more than that. I don't know. Half a dozen.
Okay, we get to 6? Okay,
Yeah.
6 to 12? All
Yeah.
right. And these are all vacations, right?
After filming, yes,
Okay, so these are times where everybody's having fun, relaxing. It's not your regular,
yes,
day-to-day grind that everybody goes through, right?
yes.
Okay. Now, you have no personal knowledge of whether Mr. Depp ever physically abused Vanessa Paradis, correct?
None that I ever saw.
Right. But you have no knowledge one way. You don't know, do you?
None that I saw.
Right.
Correct.
Right. You don't know what went on in their marriage and their relationship
No.
when you weren't there, correct?
Not when I was there. No.
Okay. And they split up, right?
Yes.
Do you know why they split up?
No, I do not.
All right. You don't know if Mr. Depp yelled or raised his voice at Vanessa Paradis on a daily basis when you weren't around, do you?
Not when I wasn't around. I don't
All
know.
right. And then you were asked at the very end by Mr. Chu whether you had ever heard of any woman accusing Mr. Depp of violence. And you said you'd never heard of anyone accusing Mr. Depp of violence. Do you recall
Correct.
that? Have you ever heard of Greg Brooks?
I don't know.
He's a
no.
manager on a set from City of Lies who has
Okay.
filed a lawsuit against Mr. Depp for punching
Your
him.
Honor, lack of foundation and
That's fair
object
game, Your
to
Honor.
Ms. Bredehoff's speechifying.
All right, I'll allow it. He's good.
I don't know what happened. I've
Have you
never
ever
seen.
heard of
I've
that?
never seen him be violent to anybody.
But you testified you'd never heard of that. So had you ever heard of Greg Brooks accusing Mr. Depp of punching him on the set of City of Lies?
Yeah, I've heard it. I don't know any basis of it though.
So it's not true that you've never heard of anyone accusing Mr. Depp of violence, is it?
I suppose not.
Okay. And you don't know whether Mr. Depp committed any domestic abuse or violence on any of the women in his relationships, do you?
I never witnessed it.
Right. You don't have personal knowledge, though, do you?
Only what I've witnessed, and I've never witnessed it.
Right. You don't know what went on behind closed doors
I
with
do
any
not.
of them. Okay. Now let's go to the Boston plane. This was in May of 2014. So you were in the car with Mr. Depp before he got on the plane.
Yes.
How long was he in that car?
How long were we in the car?
Yes.
I don't recall. 45 minutes, an hour, maybe? I don't recall.
You sat on the tarmac for quite some time before getting on the plane, didn't you?
I don't recall.
You don't recall that?
No.
Okay. And is it your testimony that Mr. Depp wasn't drinking anything while he was in the car?
Not in the car, no.
Had Mr. Depp been drinking anything before he got into the car?
I don't know. I wasn't with him before.
Is it your testimony that Mr. Depp didn't take any drugs while he was in the car?
Not that I recall.
Do you know whether he took any drugs before he got in the car?
I wasn't with him before we got in the car.
All right. And I think you testified in response to the question that you didn't think that he was intoxicated or high.
No, I mean, he seemed like Johnny.
Did he take any Red Bulls that you saw?
Took any what?
Red Bulls.
Red Bulls? I don't know. There was occasion where he would drink Red Bulls. I don't know if that was the same time or not.
All right. Was he drinking vodka with any Red Bulls?
I don't know.
Was he drinking whiskey?
I don't know.
Was he taking cocaine?
I've never seen it. No,
Did you see any powders?
no.
So you get on the airplane and it's your testimony that Ms. Heard had a bad tone of voice with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
She had a bad tone of voice with me.
Okay. In fact, wasn't Mr. Depp saying pretty horrible things to Ms. Heard?
I don't recall that.
Like get fucked on set, get fucked with fucking James fucking Franco? Did you hear that?
I don't recall.
Did you hear him say, at least you fucking liked it?
No,
Did you hear him say, I bet you slipped a tongue in there and you liked it?
no.
Did you hear him say, make references to Amber's pussy and asking her if her pussy was wet?
Your
No.
Honor, lack of foundation,
No.
harassment.
Did you hear any of that?
No, not that I recall.
Okay.
I'll rule the objection. It's fine.
Thank
Next
you.
question.
Now, you shared an oxygen tank with Mr. Depp on that Boston plane, didn't you?
No,
You don't recall Mr. Depp insisting that the flight attendant give him an oxygen tank and the two of you used it?
no.
Okay. Do you recall Mr. Depp drinking champagne on the plane?
I don't know what he was drinking. I'm sure I was having wine. He could have been having champagne.
Do you remember him drinking a couple bottles of champagne?
I don't know how much.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp didn't kick Amber?
I didn't see anything like that.
Okay. Did you see Mr. Depp go to the back of the plane and pass out and moan loudly?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall that either?
No.
Okay. Can we pull up Defendant's Exhibit 245, please?
Holy shit.
Your Honor, I show no objection to it in the filings. So I'm going to move the admission of it and I'm going to ask it to be published.
No. Any objection to 245?
Yes, Your Honor, it's improper impeachment. It's not to him.
All right. If you want to approach, we'll see what your objections. Do you have your list of objections from your exhibits?
Oh, Elaine's coming in hot and she doesn't mind saying pussy and wet pussy. I think she liked saying that. I think she enjoyed saying that, having her moment in the
What
sun.
the
right then.
heck? What the heck's with Elaine, man? I'm objecting to Elaine. Just Elaine in general, I object. Elaine, what? What is going on? Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness.
How many times does he have to say, I don't know? Like they asked him for personal knowledge of, and he answered, I have no personal knowledge of Johnny Depp ever abusing anyone. Period. What are they bringing in all this stuff? Like what, he's supposed to be reading the gossip rags and knowing everybody everywhere that said anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
The cardigan of evil. Arcanics, I kind of agree with you. Well, she put on that cardigan and whoop, all hell broke loose. Oh
my goodness. Yeah. I mean, she came in hot because she thinks she has a few winning points. So she's been put on the stand and she's coming in aggressive, angry.
What are they trying to present as evidence here? Like, what is it? And they're trying to impeach the witness, like as if he's lying. Well, he's not lying. He's talking about personal knowledge. What other people say is not his personal knowledge, is it?
She's raising her voice loud enough so that the jury will hear regardless.
She's a snake in a cardigan. Well, she
Mr.
working
White,
for
are
the.
you aware that Mr. Deuters apologized to Amber for Mr. Depp's conduct afterwards?
Lack of
After the
foundation,
Boston Pet
hearsay, Your Honor.
That's hearsay.
Next question.
Deuters apologized for
Where did you
Depp.
go? Were you with Mr. Depp
Excuse
after
me,
you
Your Honor.
left the plane?
I apologize. May we take this down?
It's just on the witness, but yes. Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you leave the plane with Mr. Depp?
I mean, I got off the plane at the same time. I'm assuming I went to my own home.
Okay, and what was Mr. Depp's state?
I don't recall.
You don't recall if he was passed out or not?
No.
When you say you don't recall, as you're sitting here today under oath, you honestly can't remember if Mr. Depp was passed out when
mean,
you
there was-
left the plane?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
All right. I'll allow it this one time. Go ahead. You can answer, sir.
There was lots of plane flights. I mean, the only reason I remember this one was because Amber yelled at me on that flight.
Do you remember my question?
I don't recall.
All right.
I mean,
so-
I could have gotten off the plane and just left. I don't know.
And Mr. Depp could have kicked Amber on that plane, right?
Your Honor, asked and answered.
Not that I saw.
Okay, and he could have passed out.
Not that I recall.
How many times were you with Amber and Mr. Depp together?
Oh, I have no idea. No idea.
Well, what would the circumstances have been?
Invited over for something or other, or, Johnny and I may have been recording some music or something, and she was there. I don't know, at work. I don't.
No, you had a very close personal relationship with Christy Dabrowski, didn't you?
We're friends, yes.
Yes, and you were more than friends for quite a few years. were you
Your
not?
Honor, relevance, may we approach?
It's impeachment.
All right, let's
It's bias. It's bias.
approach, please.
Look how she tries to get it in still. It's impeachment. It's bias. That wasn't what was asked.
I
What-
need to ask, intrigued about this, but how are you able to impeach on someone else's speculation and comments? I mean, how is he supposed to know what other people are saying? And I'm getting
the thing is, what she's saying is, when it gets objected to, she still puts her point in to get it across to the jury.
Right, I know this is getting very frustrating.
Yeah.
Well,
This is bad form. She's trying to make up for her poor performance last
she
week.
literally said she
you
practically called him a liar.
At the wedding that you went to, the one in Los Angeles, seemed to be a little rushed.
Yes,
How long were they engaged?
I don't know.
Could it have been a pretty substantial period of time?
I don't know.
Okay, so when you say rushed,
We didn't know a wedding was going to happen.
well, and you said you were at the offices of Ad Infinitum, is that right? Okay, when you say we didn't know any wedding was going to happen, who's we?
Several of the people at the wedding didn't know it was going to happen.
Okay. Now, did you know what Amber's film schedule was?
No,
Did you know whether she was out of town, coming back in and leaving again?
I did not know.
Did you know what Johnny's film schedule was?
I probably knew we were off.
Because you were his sound technician,
Yeah,
right?
we were
Okay,
starting a film
and
or ending
when-
a film or whatever. Yes,
Okay, and when did you leave for Pirates 5?
I don't recall when.
Was he filming right before Pirates 5?
I don't recall.
Okay, so as soon after they did the Los Angeles wedding, they went to the Bahamas, correct?
I don't remember the time difference.
But you didn't go to that wedding.
No,
Do you know how many people did?
no,
Do you know how much organization was involved in getting that wedding together in the Bahamas?
no, I don't know.
Do you know whether, do you know, well.
Do you know? I don't know. She doesn't know. Nobody knows.
So as a practical matter, you don't know about any of the communications between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard for when they wanted the wedding to take place, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay,
Your Honor, I just have a few.
sure. Redirect.
So what did we learn there from Elaine? Bollocks or nothing?
That she's
Nothing
wearing
whatsoever.
the cardigan of evil. Nothing. It's like that when he says I don't know, she don't believe him. And she is actually insinuating that he's not telling the truth. That she actually came forward pretty rudely about that.
Mr.
What do you
Wyatt,
mean you don't
You
remember?
testified earlier that you worked with Mr. Depp as his sound technician on more than 10 feature films. Is that correct?
Correct.
Have you ever worked on feature films as a sound technician or in any other capacity on films without Mr. Depp?
Yes, I have.
On
Yes.
those instances, in those films not involving Mr. Depp, were your travel costs covered?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
Were your hotel costs covered?
Yes, they are.
Was your
Yes.
airfare covered?
Yes.
Were those arrangements handled in any way different from the films on which you worked with Mr. Depp?
No.
All of a sudden, I hear angels
What
singing.
was your understanding of why Mr. Depp was late on the set to Pirates 5?
I'm just going to use your microphone.
Objection, Your Honor. He's already testified he doesn't know, and he wasn't there with him, and he doesn't know.
Directly related to the cross.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Sorry, say it again.
What was your understanding of why Mr. Depp was late occasionally on the set of Pirates 5?
My understanding was he was having arguments with Amber.
And the
Bingo.
wedding that you attended, or the ceremony in Los Angeles, that was right before Mr. Depp was to start filming Pirates 5, correct?
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons Amber wanted to be married right then?
Objection, foundation, hearsay.
All right, foundation. I'll sustain as the foundation.
Mr. Wyatt, you've known Mr. Depp for a long time, correct?
Yes.
And you've worked with him for a long time.
Yes.
Has any woman other than Ms. Heard ever accused him of raising a hand to her?
Objection, Your Honor. He's already asked that beforehand, and I went into the cross with him.
Asked and answered. Sustain the
Thank you, Your
objection.
Honor.
All right,
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt, and thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Nothing further.
All right. Is this witness subject to recall?
Yes.
All right, sir, since you're subject
Yes.
to recall, you cannot discuss your testimony with anybody and do not watch anything in the news media at this time, and you may be recalled at a later date, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. You have a good day. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
All right.
Good, strong witness.
Very strong.
We have a few housekeeping matters to take care of, and also I know the cafeteria was a little rough.
I know,
yesterday, so I'm
Mandy.
gonna go ahead and give you
Oh,
everyone
Elaine.
today, until 2:00. So just do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research. And we'll see you back here at 2 p.m. Okay, just go with Deputy Lisa.
Okay, so we got an hour and 10 minutes before they reconvene. Let's have
Yes.
a little chat first, and I've got a collection of videos that I'm going to put
Mhm.
on one after the other,
Okay.
so I'll keep people entertained during the break if they want
But
to hang around.
Elaine, she does not disappoint. She is
she lost.
she's the cardigan of evil, snake in a cardigan. What the heck? What the heck? How many times does somebody have to say, I don't know, before you say, oh, come on, sure you know. No, I don't know. Oh, yes, you do. You're just not saying. Oh, no, I don't know. Elaine, you look so bad. But I guess she's doing her job for the defense. I mean, she's a barracuda. I mean, I could see why they hired her now, because she's relentless, like a pit bull.
She
A dumb one, one that
she's
don't
dumb.
get the clue. But
how many
a pit
times
bull.
does she has right? He said, I don't know anything about the contracts. I have nothing to know.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about Johnny Depp's contract. Oh, well, here's a contract from Johnny Depp from 2002. Yeah, I don't know anything about these contracts. It's nothing to do with me. I don't have
It's
anything
not-
to do with Johnny
right.
Depp's contracts. Right, so I have another contract here from 2006. Oh, and I have another contract here from 2010. And I have another contract here from 2004. It's like, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't have any knowledge of the contracts that Johnny Depp has.
Exactly. And just that right there, Elaine showed that she was relentless, was trying to twist the narrative to prove her own point, wasn't listening to the witness, wasn't allowing proper testimony. She made herself look very bad there. And then here comes the plaintiff's attorney to the cross. Do did you work for other people and get paid the same? Yes, I did. Did you have the same arrangements that is in that contract that Elaine dragged down your throat and made you like look at? Yeah, yes, I did. I got hotel. I got travel. Just the same.
Yeah.
No preference from Johnny Depp. But Johnny Depp is allowed to say, on my movies, I want this. And he got it. But there was no preference. He didn't get over and above. He got standard contract fees. He just got to choose who he wanted. Okay.
Exactly.
And why not? If he's good and they're friends, why not? The Johnny does that with everybody. They're just trying to prove bias because they pay him. But could he not just be a good person?
I think that came off really bad for their side. Elaine again, she failed. What happened? Towards the end of the thing, she lost track about what she was going to say, and she was stumbled and stuttered and then she didn't know where she was going to go.
Yep.
And she brought nothing out. She got no concessions out of him other than apparently Johnny Depp has punched some guy who's alleging assault.
Right.
Now, whether or not that's true or not, we don't know because it's just an allegation, right?
And that cannot be a fight. All right, I'm sorry. Could that not be a disagreement, a fight between two men? I mean, fine. And it is a part of their industry or whatever, and they were fine. So yeah, he knows about it. But what does that have to do against the abuse of a woman in a marital domestic violence case?
And
Not
why
exactly
did
the
they
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose that's how she was able to drop it in. Do you have any knowledge by asking that question? Do you have any knowledge of any blah blah? And then she was able to ask that question about
Yeah,
Johnny.
but if it's not personal knowledge, they always bank it out for hearsay. So of course he's like, I don't get it. But you know what? The best comment in here so far today is Elaine is not safe for work. NSFW.
I like Elaine the jackhammer. Come on, Elaine the jackhammer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Pretty sweet, Elaine the jackhammer there. And when she started cussing and saying, "Do you remember Johnny saying this? And do you remember him saying that? And do you remember him saying it?" I was like,
and he didn't know any of this. He's just like, what? No. And it's like, why? But she needed to get it in there. She has to get it in there because she wanted the jury to hear it.
Yeah.
She's really, that is her actual job as the attorney right now. That is what they have assigned to her. All the crap that we're not allowed to enter as evidence, because those statements are not in there. There's no tweet or anything that they're going to be able to enter as evidence that has that on it. So Elaine, it appears that Elaine's job throughout the course so far of the trial, only in the second week, has been to spew from her mouth everything they want the jury to hear that they're not allowed to enter.
Yeah, she's literally throwing herself out there as being the real dirty solicitor. That's what she's being. She's not playing fair by the rules. She's putting accusations out there. That was an accusation. Did you hear him say this? In other words, what she's saying is this happened? Did you hear it? And he's saying, no, I didn't hear anything like that. But she's saying it in a way that it already happened. So she's trying to tell the jury that this actually happened. And Johnny Depp said that to her. Didn't. It's all came from Amber's imagination yet again. Figment of her imagination.
I'm telling you, Mandy, I would not be listening to her either. She is really putting me off of the legal system, and I'm getting a little embarrassed there. But then again, look who she works for. I guess this is the kind of tactics that were hired. I'm a little offended by this stuff getting in. It shouldn't get in.
Yeah, I mean, what was it she said? Something about, James Franco. She brought James Franco up, didn't she?
Yeah, did she? And all of those, those...
Do you remember Johnny Depp saying that, because he was... What they're trying to say is that Johnny Depp was a jealous person. This is what they're trying to get at, that he was jealous. He was jealous of James Franco. He was assuming that they were having a relationship behind his back. He was getting violent. And he was getting out of hand. Because he was this aggressive, violent person who was obsessed with Amber, accusing her of this, that, and the other. It's all made up. I don't think Johnny would give a flying monkeys if he had it off with. Well, maybe he would. Maybe I'm sort of like being too biased there, but I suppose any man would be a little bit jealous if your wife's knobbing somebody else, right? But but I don't think that was the case. I don't think I don't think that was the cause of their arguments.
Yeah, it's just totally. So we're going to take a little longer lunch break today. The judge has had it. I think the judge having to deal with Elaine like she needed a little extra time. What do you think? I know I would. I'm not trying to put it on the judge. You know, the judge is being as fair as she can and everything like that. But if I was up there, like I couldn't be a judge because I'd be, I would be done with the cardigan of evil by now.
Yeah, so here's the plan, guys. We've got another hour to go yet whilst they're on the lunch. We are back at 2 p.m. EST. So in the meantime, I've got a 42-minute video that I'm going to play. It's some of the clips so far. It's some of the more interesting parts, including some of the testimony from Isaac and others.
Is it actually 2 hours? Because it's only noon now. Are we actually coming back in 2 hours?
It's not noon.
Yes, it is 12.
No, it's not. It's 12
yes,
o'clock.
It's 12 EST. Yes, I am in EST time zone. I'm looking at my clock. So unless the world has turned upside down,
so we have we have 2 hours. Oh, right. Well,
is it? Are they coming back at 1 or are they coming back at 2? What did she say?
Did she say 1 or 2?
I thought she said an hour and 15 minutes. I don't think she said the time. I think she said 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Okay, let's go back and find out. Let's go back and listen.
I think we need a plan.
It was a little rough yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an extended lunch today until 2 o'clock. So
2 o'clock.
2 hours. We have 2 hour break. My God, what are we going to do?
Well,
I'm going to go have fun on Twitter. I'm going to go blow Twitter up. Elaine,
you know what?
I'm coming for you, Elaine.
You know what? I think
cardigan.
as they've got a 2 hour, I don't really want to have the stream just running for 2 hours. I think what I'll do is I'll wrap this one up and I'll set a new one.
Another one?
Yeah, I'll set a new one up for 2 p.m. So everyone can have a chance to just disappear and have a bit of fun in their lives instead of sitting around on YouTube.
Hey, send me the stream link. I'll put it in the promo right away and I'll get it back out there as soon as you're done. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. As soon as this is only an exception, seeing as it's like this 2 hour break, it'll give me time to actually have a bit of a kip actually because I need to catch up on a bit of sleep. So that will be good. Right. So yeah, we'll be back in about an hour and a half, guys. I'll set it up for about half past 1 EST, and then we'll crack back into this.
Yeah. Go out there and meme your hearts out, people.
Meme your hearts out. Yes. And tuning back here.
Send me all the funnies. Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. See you in a bit.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.